Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show where, after the collision, even though there wasn't one, we sift through
The wreckage.
the, the wreckage right here on Motorthoughts channel, attitude.com, and Hamid Media Group live right here on the YouTube. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is my co-host, the vet, Jamie Williams. And maybe I should have said, vet, after the dream, we sift through the wreckage because I could have sworn I was dreaming a few times during this pay-per-view. Can we take a time out on 5 hours?
No. You must watch all 5 hours. And I know that's what Antonio Inoki would have wanted.
Oh, my God. Dude.
He would have been proud of each and every match on this show. He would have wanted it to be 5 hours, maybe 6 if he could.
You think? You know what's embarrassing, dude? I don't know if you caught this, but you know Antonio Inoki's catchphrase?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, da.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the same thing. I'm not going to lie, right? But apparently it's something else, unless they said it in Japanese. I'm assuming it probably was in Japanese. But usually I hear it, in a different sense. But anyway, the crowd in Tacoma, so Tony Khan was sitting there going, 1, 2, 3 in Japanese. And the crowd in Tacoma literally had no idea what he was talking about. While he had his grandkids out there and everything, it was embarrassing.
Well, I was sort of scratching my head at the, I wasn't aware that Tacoma, Washington was a hotbed of Japanese wrestling and it needed to be the home of, this Antonio Inoki tribute show. But in all seriousness, that's the thing. Like, you can't I understand that you had to trademark this and you had to do all kinds of, legal stuff around it. But, if it's not going to be like that theme, then I think you should just call it something else or make a new trademark or something. And then next time you have enough, enough appropriate talent and matches to fill out a card, then you can bring Wrestledream back and do a Wrestledream show. It doesn't have to be the same time, every year just because you did it before. But whatever, it's it's his money, and I'm sure he felt very awkward out there with everybody not knowing what he was doing. So
I'm telling you, dude, it was pretty embarrassing, but it is what it is. That's AEW for you. But I guess when we are here to talk AEW, but I guess we've got to get into some news, right? I mean, I don't know how busy or quiet it's been. And before I do that, I just want to thank everybody that sent me a happy birthday on all over social media. I thank all of y'all for doing that. It's another year down. I don't even celebrate them anymore. I'm so over it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're just getting older, vet. We're getting older and it sucks. But again, thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. But let's get into some news, if there is any. And to be honest, it's been kind of quiet. I mean, how about this? I guess the Motor City Machine Guns are going to be debuting on SmackDown next week, actually, vet. For the millionth time that we've been talking about it. Yeah, apparently. After what we saw on SmackDown.
Because I heard they were going to debut on the NXT and CW.
So did I. That's what I'm saying.
Are you trying to tell me that internet wrestling reporting is unreliable?
Well, I get it is. I guess it is. I mean, shit. How many times do people want to do that? And report that shit?
You got to be first, even if you're wrong.
Oh, well, I guess you're right. That's how it works these days. But I know we've spoken about this, but I'll ask you one more time. Is this going to make a difference for the WWE tag team division? Because clearly they're not staying or starting in NXT. They're just going straight onto the main roster. But these guys are both in their mid-40s and they're flippy guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not mid-40s. I'm wrong. I'll say early 40s. But, I mean, do we really need them in WWE? Does WWE even really need these guys? I don't know if it's a really good investment, in my opinion. Sure, they were cool years ago. But at this point, I couldn't care less.
How much of this do you think is like guys like, Parks and Williams in the back saying like, "Oh man, I'm telling you, you got to bring these guys in." Like, do you really?
100%, dude.
I don't know what, but here's the thing. I'm not going to shit on it, even though I hate I don't know them personally, but I hate the idea of everything about them. And
Right.
I've had 20 years for it to grow on me, and it hasn't, and having to cover them since
Right.
I've been working at HMG and doing TNA and Impact, whatever they've called themselves, and seeing the Guns going on singles runs, tag team runs, everything in just the short time, just the 4 years I've been doing it. And they've still done nothing for me. They should be better than they've ever been, but it's like Mike Martin said, I was over MMG like in TNA when I was young. Like, he was already over it. Like, we've already seen it. We saw it the first time they ever came out, and nothing's changed for 20 years. They have not really grown as performers, to my opinion. In fact, if they contributed anything, they've contributed to bad habits and the death of tag team wrestling as an art form over the years, because this is why, it used to be, we used to look at like tag team wrestling as like a certain way and a certain way to have a match. And these guys, if they contributed anything to it, it's just that like, oh yeah, the referee's just there to stand there, and we can double team for like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I remember I used to put a clock on them. Like when I review their matches, like I put a clock for like, when was the last time that you had just two guys in a ring? Like, and it got up into the minutes at times, like minutes without a tag. They're just guys just being in the ring. It's supposed to be 5 seconds.
Yeah.
These guys are up to minutes. So to answer your question, does the WWE need them? No, but here's why I'm not going to shit on it just yet. All that stuff I just said, that can be produced out of them if that's what they want. And if they are serious about making the tag division something special on the show, then sure, bring in the Motor City Machine Guns and do that. It could be any team, just as long as you're serious about, okay, we've ruined tag team wrestling since the late 80s, so let's rebuild it now. Are these the guys to do it? Time will tell. I have my suspicions, but I just think, you gotta, and I was thinking about this earlier today too. WWE doing a lot of good things right now, but still, lagging behind in a couple of things. And you kind of have to break your entire show, whatever that is, whether Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever you're doing, you have your product. You have to think of it in 4 different categories. You should have your tag teams, you should have your women, you have your middle of the road guys, and you have your top guys. You have to focus your show around those things, and everything you do on your show, you're like, which of these 4 aspects are we serving by doing, whatever we wrote down or whatever we planned or whatever we booked? Are we helping this division? Are we helping that division? What are we doing for that? And they should have focus on those things and build each of those things separately. And then you can sort of mingle them together, and you'll know when the time is right to do that. But yeah, tag team wrestling's been dead for a long time, and Motor City Machine Guns helped to kill it. But they can also revive it if they're smart enough. So let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I didn't mind Motor City Machine Guns back in the TNA days, and I'm talking about, 2006 is I think when they debuted, 07, something like that, around those times. They were cool at first. I've never been a Saban fan though. I just can't stand him. Shelly's cool. We've seen him in NXT in the past. But yeah, look, we'll see what happens, man. Good luck to him. Their vignette was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. That seems real cool, but we'll see how they get used coming next week on SmackDown. So it seems. In other news, in AEW news, that is, it was reported earlier in the week, Vet, that good old Jimmy Jacobs departed from AEW Creative. Mm-hmm. And it was reported that besides burnout issues, Jacobs also did not want to travel as much. And the current belief is that he will be taking time off in general from wrestling now that he's gone from AEW. It was reported that outside of AEW CEO Tony Khan, Jacobs was backstage at more AEW shows than anyone else. And in regards to AEW's current plans for their creative team, it was reported that AEW officials have been aware that they need to make creative changes, and this was something that they had been planning to do for some time. Jacobs' recent departure reportedly gives them a chance to do that now, and it was also reported that when Jacobs arrived in AEW, he was not familiar with their on-screen product, but had an open mind to learn about it and took recommendations to catch up. Those spoken to reportedly denied the recent rumors of Jacobs not knowing who Kazuchika Okada was. Come on now. But also in regards to Jacobs' creative work in AEW, it was reported that Jacobs had worked directly with Jericho to develop the Learning Tree gimmick, but this was something that was not originally his idea. Vet, is this a good thing or a bad thing for AEW in terms of them losing Jimmy Jacobs?
A little bit of both, perhaps. I really don't know what his duties entailed there, but I do know that, you know, when I think, first of all, let's address the burnout situation. I'm burnt out watching it, so I can only imagine having to make towns. Jesus.
And plus, it's not like they go overseas all the time. You know what I mean? That's another thing I find strange.
No, but that's the thing though. It's like it's just watching it is exhausting. You know?
No, it is.
And
Definitely.
a lot of AEW fans, even the hardest of hardcore fans, a lot of them probably miss a significant portion of AEW. They'll be like, I love AEW. I'm busy on Friday night though. I'm not going to watch that. Like I'll catch up. I'll read the results real quick. You know, like they're not, you cannot really want to see all this or need to. So it's hard enough just to watch it, but imagine working there and trying to like juggle all those chainsaws. I just couldn't imagine. So yes, I'm sure he quite is burned out. And when you get a guy that can produce, like I'm 100% sure that his hiring was strictly Chris Jericho's doing, because he wrote with Chris Jericho when he worked at WWE. He came up with the list. He came up with like a bunch of the goofy shit that Chris Jericho does. And the only things that I know that can be attributed to Jimmy Jacobs for a fact, like they've all been goofy. So, I mean, I guess I shouldn't expect a guy that calls himself the Zombie Princess to take the business seriously, but he's definitely one of those guys that's like, oh yeah, wrestling can be anything you want it to be. Wrestling's fun, you know, like it's his excuse to get all of his creative shit in, whatever that is. And he gets further and further away from like the point of what people are doing. So he worked at Impact again. When I was reviewing it, they were doing a lot of corny shit when he was there. I'm just, you know, whatever it is, like coincidence or not, corny shit seems to follow Jimmy Jacobs around. So I don't know what he's going to do next, but I mean, I just thought of like, didn't QT Marshall also quit and then come crawling back like 2 months later?
Yeah, it's true. And he's even still with the company even.
Yeah, he is. So let's see what happens. Like, you know, it's like, let's see if let's see how burnout he is.
Unbelievable, dude. Yeah, look, I think he's overrated anyway. Even when he was in creative with WWE, I think he did come up with the Friends, the Festival of Friends thing with Kevin Owens and Jericho and whatnot. Cool. But really, other than that, I couldn't care less. And I think this would be a good thing for AEW, to be honest. And wasn't he burnt out in WWE? Wasn't it the same thing he was complaining about?
Yeah, this is a hard business. Even if you're not taking the bumps yourself, which he has, you know, like he had a whole Ring of Honor wrestling. Dude, he was, you know, I don't know about familiarity with the AEW product, but he was working on Ring of Honor stuff and he even had matches. Like I saw him have matches in Ring of Honor. The Tony Khan Ring of Honor. Like he was having matches, you know, as recently as this year. Like earlier these a few months ago he had matches. So it's like you know, he's still active in that sense. He was active in Ring of Honor back in the day, which there's been a clip going around of like a match with him and BJ Whitmer, that like power bomb onto the turnbuckle thing. Like, it's disgusting. I've never seen anything like it. I couldn't believe Jimmy Jacobs a national treasure. Yeah, with starring Nicolas Cage, maybe. It's just as corny as that fucking movie.
Oh, that's corny.
But yeah. And Cold Blooded says, was he ever an on-screen character in WWE? No, he wasn't.
Never.
But he may have showed up in like vignettes and stuff as like one of those stagehands with the headset mics or some shit like that, but not as like a performative character, like nothing like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the answer to everything, really. Every question that you could ask in and around the wrestling business is, well, we'll see.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. But probably in the biggest news of the week, and I don't really mean that literally, but it's pretty big. But Hornswoggle has signed a WWE Legends deal. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I'm actually happy for him. So I don't know if
how can Triple H running the creative end of the business not take a former DX member and give him a deal?
Believe me, we'll probably see a little like skit with him and DX somewhere in NXT. Maybe we'll see it if anywhere. But I'm actually happy for him, man, because he kind of left bitter. He was kind of bitter, dude. I haven't read his book yet. I heard his book though is one of the best reads out there. Have you read it at all, Vet?
Is it a short book? But seriously, no, I haven't.
I'm not sure.
I'm not. Yeah.
But apparently, no shit. Of all the reviews and just people talking about it, I heard it's really good. I might, buy it eventually. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. So good on Hornswoggle for signing or re-signing with WB now after a few years. And that's that. In other news.
Oh yeah, just one more thing on the Jimmy Jacobs, because Mike asked. We talking about the guy that paints his fingernails and toenails?
Yes, that's the guy.
That's why he's on the disco list.
Yeah, wasn't he formerly Jimmy Rave on the indie scene, man?
Huh? What?
Oh no, sorry, that's someone else. Oh, someone else. Don't worry. I got confused with another Jimmy. I said, wasn't he formerly in the indie scene as Jimmy Rave? But he wasn't Jimmy Rave. I think there was another person. That was Jimmy Rave.
That was a completely other person, and he has since passed, I think.
And he has. That's right. You're right. He has passed. For some reason, that went through my head. But yeah, that is the same guy that used to paint his fingernails and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, he made his name on the independent scene many years ago, but he's always been a small guy, if you know what I mean. In other news, I wouldn't even call anything else any news over here, dude. Apparently Julia Hart has got a shoulder injury. That's why we haven't seen her. AJ Styles' foot injury seems to be legit and not at work. So, yeah, that's another thing. And that's about it, man. There's nothing really like that's earth-shattering when it comes to news. Caleb Williams is Jimmy Jacobs.
He's just Frank's just talking shit again.
I know. I'll just bring it up there, but yeah, man. I think that's it, man. I don't think we need to really cut through any more news, Vet, unless it's something I'm missing that you know of. Other than that, we've pretty much spoken about what really mattered, dude.
I don't think so, but if we missed anything, maybe you guys can remind us, or if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, if there's anything you guys want us to touch on, please let us know and we'll touch on it, man. But otherwise, we've touched on what really mattered during the week. So, Vetty, saying that, how about we sift through some of this wreckage, and then I'll touch on the pay-per-view once we do that. And yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Like, it seems like, maybe this is maybe an unfortunate choice of analogy or whatever due to certain conditions in the US right now. But when it rains, it pours, because people are always telling AEW, like, nobody cares about long matches. You guys need to do stories. You need to do stuff. So as I'm watching Title Tuesday, I realized that my notes section is getting extremely long because they're doing a bunch of stuff. Like they're trying to cram a build up to this Wrestledream in the 2-hour show. And it's like they had nothing when they started and they got almost the whole card by the end of it because everybody's just doing angles like left and right here and there. And it's all just popping up out of nowhere. And I had to keep making notes of like, oh, now this happened and now this happened and now this happened. Usually it'll be like, oh, it's so-and-so versus so-and-so. And then I can just, take 15 minutes and like eat my lunch or whatever. But this time it was like I was constantly busy writing stuff down. I guess it should be noted that this was Title Tuesday, so they were out of their normal time slot and out of their normal channel. Well, no, there's a normal channel, but out of their time slot and out of their day. So it wasn't even like Tuesday at 8. It was Tuesday at 9. And yeah, so they went up against half of NXT on the CW or whatever, and people were like posting the numbers like NXT destroyed AEW. Is like, well, I mean, what do you expect? Of course.
Well, not just what you expect, but what people fail to bring up, though. I'm glad you brought that up. NXT, to be fair, right, is on network television. So I would expect them to destroy him in numbers. Yeah, AEW got mega low numbers, but I'll blame that on, they weren't on their usually scheduled time slot. And otherwise, it wouldn't have been that low, surely. I mean, let's be honest.
Right. When they go back, it'll be like 600,000 again. But
Right.
the problem with doing that is that what this does is, and if there's actually any human beings that really just have cable or satellite and really just sit themselves down every Wednesday at the same time to watch Dynamite specifically, like, yes, I'm ready for AEW. I got my snacks. I'm going to watch it live. No DVRing, no watching on the internet, none of that. Like, I'm going to watch it live. If there really are people out there doing that, there's still some people that, like, when they go to sit down on Wednesday, they're going to be like, huh? Why is baseball on? Like, I wanted to watch Dynamite. And then some people will actually not show up next Wednesday because they'll think Dynamite got canceled or something, and they just won't. Like, they will lose people from this forever. Maybe not many, but some. And that's the danger of like getting moved around,
100, man.
I
mean, shit. I didn't even know Collision was not on this week, and I understood why. But for example, but they're not good at letting you know what's happening properly. Do you know what I'm saying? They don't really promote it properly enough if there's a time change and a show change and whatnot. You know what I mean? But I'm glad there wasn't any Collision, though, to be fair.
Well, yeah, we just don't have have time to cover Collision. Like, but so anyway, so we got another cinematic, ominous tones John Moxley promo to start the show. So if you're into that, here's another one. And then we get a counter promo from Danielson. He's not doing an ominous tones cinematic promo. He's just doing a promo backstage, like live, like I'm cutting a promo to the camera, right? So we got dueling promos there. And then we get Darby Allin. He goes out to the ring, calls out Brody for a little history lesson. And this is sort of a lesson for us I'm going to give Darby credit in that he's trying to make the fans care, and he does about as well as he possibly could given what he has to work with.
And he's
trying to get people interested. Yeah, it almost worked. I almost cared about Brody King for a second. I was like, ooh, wow, do I want to see this match?
I cared. Even though I've seen it a million times. The way he delivered that promo, I got to admit, he got me into it.
Yeah.
He was passionate, dude. He showed a lot of passion, and I like that. You know what I mean? So he's very underrated, I feel, on the mic, man. People don't give him enough credit at actually how good he is on the microphone.
Yeah. So whatever that was, Brody King had something to say, and then it just devolved into violence, and then Darby Allin hit him with a rock. Ugh. And security came out.
Like, so what was up with that?
What's going on?
Yeah, they fucked it up. See, everything was gravy for me until that point. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But no, but truth be told, like if you know their history, at least, and if you didn't know their history, at least they explained their history, right? For once, they actually explained how and why they go back, and you know, because usually they don't do that. But luckily for us, we had Darby to actually explain that for us. So kudos to him. Like I said, I enjoyed the promo. It just got a bit whack after the promo.
Yeah, he's hit him with a rock.
Exactly.
Like, not a Dwayne Johnson, you know, like
he didn't hit with
this rock. No. It was big. It was big too. Like he had to hold it with both hands.
Stupid.
That's what she said. All right. So now we get Renee backstage with Jake Roberts. We haven't seen Jake the Snake in a while.
Stupid ass dude. Oh boy.
Well, just hold on. Now don't spoil it for the people. Some of it, obviously nobody watched this show, so our audience is hearing about it for the first time.
God damn.
So yeah, Jake the Snake's back there, and Don Callis is back there, and they got Lance Archer back there, and they conduct a talent trade. So the Don Callis family is getting Lance Archer for a player to be named later, and
or players.
Yeah, and when Renee tries to ask who the player to be named later, Jake's like, "You like surprises?" And then doesn't tell her. So I guess we'll find out.
Oh God, man! We'll find out. I won't say it just yet. But for me, it doesn't put the guys that got traded or Lance Archer over at all by doing this. And I'll say, why.
You spoiled it again. You said guys. Now our audience knows that it's more than just one guy. Great job.
It's even worse. It's even worse. But anyway, I'll touch on that when we get there eventually.
Yeah, we were supposed to find out together. Come on, quit jumping ahead, Jimmy. Hold on.
Sorry, man. Sorry, my bad.
All right. Well, Renee Young catches Daniel Garcia in the parking lot, and nothing. Like the most boring, nothing happening, nothing ever. Like she's like, Daniel, can you tell us something? We haven't seen you in forever. He's like, sorry, Renee, I'm going to tell everybody. It's like, well, everybody's watching, you asshole. Tell her now. All right,
yeah, over dramatic for nothing.
They can hear you in the building. If you speak in the mic now, they can hear you in the building. So just say it now. You know. But anyway, yeah. All right. So yeah, Renee's working overtime. She must be, you know.
Dude, she looks annoyed half the time now on AEW television. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. All right, Hologram versus Commander. Is this the Hologram Dynamite debut here on Title Tuesday?
No, I think it's the second time he's been on Dynamite. There was one other time. This is the second time. So and this wasn't impressive, dude, at all. This wasn't your Saturday Collision type of hologram, put it that way.
No, surely not. But he was in there with Commander, so he has somebody that's smaller than him. But yeah, they do a bunch of stuff like you'd imagine they would do. I'm not sure, but I think Hologram is starting to, like, the guy himself, not the gimmick, but the guy is starting to, like, get worse. Like, he's not as sharp as he was when he debuted that time.
You saying he's regressing over time?
I think so. Like, a lot of his shit don't look good, but anyway, he does end up winning the match, at least with his airplane bomb. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you're onto something. You know what I mean? Because maybe did we look at first? He was impressive, and we hyped him up. Absolutely, we did hype him up, but he has seemed to sort of regress a little bit, man. And I'm not sure why. You should be improving, not getting worse. Because it's not like he's not getting television time. He's definitely getting a lot of television time. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting that you bring that up.
Well, it's also like, you know, you had that one match he had. I remember coming down on him a little bit because of not just him, but everybody, because it was with the premier athletes. And I was just like, well, okay. So you guys aren't kind of doing his stuff or whatever, but this is Commander. So if you can't do your stuff with Commander, then what do we? I don't know, but
Well, it's funny. Juan Alarcon wants to know, is hologram a character that TK created when he was young? I can see that. I can actually see that.
Supposedly he is. Supposedly he is. That's what I heard anyway. That this is an
Cold-blooded
idea
though,
he's
man.
had for a supposedly, if you believe what is out there, and maybe it's not like it doesn't make sense. This is a gimmick, if you could call it.
What
A
is the gimmick?
that, yeah, it's a gimmick that Tony's had in his mind for a while, and he just didn't have the right person to give it to. So,
Hey,
apparently, Aramis was the
broken.
guy. Like he saw Aramis and he was like, "Yeah, that guy."
And he must think he's Vince McMahon, like creative wise. Vince came up with the Undertaker, for example, and stuff like that. He must feel right up there with him for creating someone like a hologram.
Yeah, man. Maybe
I mean, couldn't they at least
not real at all? Maybe he's never been there.
they should do some sort of hologram, legit, right? Before he comes to the ring, where you see him in the ring and he's doing all these super flips or whatever the fuck. Then it disappears and he comes out from the stage area, right? Why not do something like that? If you're gonna call him hologram, give us some hologram sort of graphics and shit. I mean, he's got the money, do it. Come on, TK.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? It's time for Jake Roberts to already tell us who he got on in his trade. And apparently it's very lopsided because we have Roosh and the entire crew, and they come out and they jump hologram. And, so this would be the crew being what? Dralistico and
This is
that
also
other guy?
Morto.
Oh, was it Mortos? Okay, yeah.
It was Mortos, unfortunately.
I wanted you to be able to say it. But,
it was Mortos. Well, I can say it if you really want me to, in the in the way that I should have said it. Mort. Actually, it's not working. I'm even gonna find out why that's not working right at this moment. I do know. This is why. Silly me. Mortos. Still not working. Eat a dick, Roadcaster. Just quietly.
damn.
I don't know why it's not working, but anyway, I'm even going to try to realize why it's not. The point is, it was Mortos, Dralistico, and
Roosh.
unfortunately, Roosh.
With the
And dude,
horns.
how do you trade Lance Archer, though? This is what I wanted to say before. You trade in Lance Archer for these three. I mean, that's a win for fucking, for what's his name?
Jake?
God. No, not for Jake, for the
Don Callis?
Don Callis.
Wait
Does
a
that
minute.
mean these guys? That's what I'm saying. I'm confused. Are they part of the family now? What's going on?
Well, they were. Well, they did. Okay. Oh, this sounds so stupid. Because the more you try to explain what they're trying to do,
I don't know.
we sound like nerds just trying to make sense of what they're giving us. All right. So Roosh, Don Callis was trying to get Roosh as part of his. He was trying to. He wanted him to join the Don Callis family, even though he would never show up in those things with like Kyle Fletcher and them. Roosh would go with them, but it would see Don Callis was like trying to get him to like, like get him ready for whatever. And then Roosh just brings in the other LFI guys. And then it's like, oh, so now what does Don Callis have all these guys? So now Don Callis is trading people that I didn't even know he ever officially had under contract.
Insane, dude.
And when was the last time we saw Jake Roberts anyway?
It's been quite a while.
Quite a while. Also, Lance Archer hasn't ever won a match, I don't think. So what, it's Jake Roberts really came up on this deal. He's like, not only did he get 3 guys, but at least some of them have won matches before. So yeah, it's I'm telling you, man, this was a win for Jake. So the only thing that matters, the only thing that is left to be determined is if it's a win for us as the audience.
It definitely isn't, and none of this made sense because, like you said, I didn't even know Don Callis had these guys under his wing, and we never see him. So it brings me back to this: does Tony Khan truly think his fan base are stupid? Like, It's the only thing I can think of. Or has his cocaine habit literally made him forget what's going on and who's who and who's where and what's what? Like, how do you take this shit seriously when none of this actually makes sense? And I didn't know they were even part of a faction a faction that was part of a faction.
Plans change.
And mortals.
Yeah.
Come on. Serious?
Right. Well, let's get off of this.
Let's go.
We get a serious Mark Briscoe promo. No yelling, no word of the day. He just looks in the camera and cuts a promo. So Mark Briscoe showing why he's a full utility player. He can do whatever you need, which is one of the things I was saying a long time ago when, you know, the Briscoes were still in Ring of Honor as a tag team. And I was like, these guys can do whatever you need them to do. It doesn't matter. If you need them to have a match with anybody, they'll have a match with anybody. You need them to cut any type of promo, serious, cursing, no cursing, whatever you want to do, they can do it as long as you need them to do it, as well as you need them to do it. I just don't understand why they're languishing in Ring of Honor. I guess people bought into the gimmick too much and thought they were really like out of control or something. But to me, they've always seemed like total professionals. And, you know, Mark Briscoe is showing that now because he's all over the TV and he's doing all kinds of stuff. So usually he's goofing around with the conglomeration, but this time he cuts a serious promo so he can show he can do it.
And he can. I think people don't give him enough credit for how good he can be when he's asked upon to do so. Because, you know, to be fair, he was always taking the back seat to Jay. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Jay was the better promo guy. I mean, there's no arguing the fact.
I don't
bring up
bro.
a point. That's also a good point. I mean, that's what.
Well, that's what I loved about the Briscoes, because they were so similar, but they were still different.
Oh no, they're
you know what I mean? Like you could definitely. They each brought things to the table, even though they definitely felt like brothers because they were.
Oh, no.
They definitely felt like a tag team because they were. Right. And yet when they went on their singles runs, you bought it because it's like, yeah.
Absolutely. Wasn't Mike Martin wants to know, wasn't Canyon Mortis in WWE? Yes, he was. Not Mortos, but
yeah, he was not Mortos.
This was Mortis.
Jeez, yeah, that's Latin. Unlike Mortos, which is still kind of Latin.
It sounds more Greek to me, though, Mortos, to be fair.
Well, yeah. What do you call a minotaur in Greek, Jimmy? You call it minotaur?
Well, kind of, yeah. It's like Minotauros.
Minotauros.
So, you know, Mortos.
Got it. Yeah. So Garcia's in the ring with his dad jeans. He is staying in AEW, and he wants us all to know that, as if there were options, or as if fans thought there were options for him. I'm sorry. I still don't believe that there was any interest from anybody, like, we really want to sign this guy. You can't make me believe that, especially when he comes out here with these dad jeans. Shouldn't even like, these are the jeans that Triple H was wearing in like 97. Like,
well, I mean,
is that him waving to the other guys? Like, these are your jeans, Triple H.
I truly think
these are the jeans that Rock has in that picture with the fanny pack.
Didn't The Rock wear his boots or his shoes or whatever? But I'm pretty sure he used to wear Timberlands during those times or something similar, but over the jeans as well. Like, he'd have the jeans sort of tucked into his boots.
The high-tech boots?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. You should have done that and it would have been complete. I'm talking about Garcia.
The tapered leg jeans tucked into high-tech boots. That's how Daniel Garcia shit came out.
Man, he's such a dork, bro. I couldn't care less. And you truly think WWE was interested in this guy? Give me a break.
Yeah, so unless they just wanted, unless they were ribbing, like, I could see them putting the word out, like, oh yeah, we want Daniel Garcia.
Come on, man. What would they honestly do with a guy like that? For real, man.
I don't know. But
then again, they've surprised me sort of this year with some of the recruitments they've actually gotten. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it.
They got guys in NXT that haven't even been on TV yet that are going to get released before they even make their TV debut that still have more upside than Daniel Garcia. Just so everybody knows.
Facts, man. Absolutely.
Now, speaking of upside, we get a Swerve Strickland package, but I'm interested in who was training Swerve Strickland because EJ Nduka's in this video, and he looks like somebody. So, are we gonna get a EJ Nduka in AEW?
Well,
Can he do something with MVP and Shelton Benjamin, perhaps?
He did make one appearance with Swerve on television, as a matter of fact.
Right.
So maybe. I mean, who knows? We'll see what happens. So far, not so much. We've only seen him once, I believe, on television. But I want to see it. Why not?
Yeah. Mike says Ron Simmons wore that style and made it cool. I just don't think anybody was going to tell him, Mike. Like, you're not going to tell Ron Simmons. You're just not going to tell him, right? You're just not going to tell him. All right.
Mike.
But anyway, yeah. So Swerve is going to return at Wrestledream. So look forward to that. And speaking of MVP and Shelton, they are amused by this video. They're watching it like, yeah, Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, amused. Yeah. I mean, I would be amused if I was them too. I mean, heck.
Yeah. We get Renee with Mercedes and Camille, and they do their thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy, you don't like it? All right, explain.
She's so annoying me now. I know that's her thing now, is to annoy everybody. But god damn it, I hate her, bro. And not because she's a heel. She's just for me, it feels like almost like that's her, dude. Like, I don't know, bro. I just can't stand her right now, man. Then again, she's doing her job, then I guess, right? That's the whole point. I shouldn't be able to stand her. So yeah. But still, I just don't. She's got go away with me, dude. Now, she really does.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Camille just stands there quietly, so that's
another fool.
That's her best use. Dan Garcia's hugging people back there, like, "Hey, thanks for staying, man. Hey, all right, I couldn't leave you guys. Haha."
Why did they make a fucking fuss over that, dude? That was another thing. Like, why? It's just Daniel Garcia, man. And the only Danny Garcia that I know is a female that is actually way bigger than the male version. I mean, I showed you, right? The Rock's ex-wife.
Right. Yes,
that's Danny a beast Garcia. Right there, bro. That's a Danny Garcia.
That's why he knows to call himself Daniel, right? to make sure that there's no confusion.
Oh boy, there's only one Danny Garcia I know.
What kind of jeans do you think The Rock's ex-wife wears?
Fuck, bro. I don't know. Well, probably B12 jeans, but see what I did there. But if I had to be literally about her size, she's got to be a fucking muscly 16, bro. That's pretty big, though. Maybe a 12, to be fair.
G-Ball says Lee jeans. Well, Jimmy really wanted to zing me. I could have said, what kind of jeans do you think she wears, Jimmy? And Jimmy could have said, guess. And I'm saying, I'm asking you.
Guess. No, but guess jeans.
Yeah, the rim shots would just be all over the place here.
Damn it. Right. And I knew the joke you said straight off the bat, too. But you wouldn't have gotten fooled. Because you said it to me, I knew exactly what you meant. So I'm pretty sure if I did that to you, you would have clicked onto it, too. So I'm just saying.
All right, so now, well, speaking of ladies in jeans, we get Willow versus Saraya versus Nyla versus Jamie Hayter. 4-way match for number one contendership. Mariah May, the Glamour, is on commentary. I didn't watch this match. I'm not gonna lie, but
honestly, I didn't either.
You skipped it, okay? I did. Penelope came out. I saw that. I was like, "Who's this?"
I saw that. I saw Penelope. Yes.
Yeah, so Penelope came out. She hit Hayter with the chair. Willow does like a table DVD to Saraya
That was bad, dude.
Yeah, after laying out Harley, and then she pinned them both, even though Harley wasn't in the match, but she just laid across Harley and Saraya, and Willow is your number one contender to face Mariah May at Wrestledream. And Jimmy froze. So, maybe we were talking about Mortis earlier, and Glacier came in and froze Jimmy. So we'll see. But you guys can still hear me, right? Next, we go to the Learning Tree talking to Rocky Romero, and they were explaining to Rocky how all of his friends suck, and they're not his friends, and he should probably betray them. And Rocky's like, man, I don't want to. So there you go. Wranglers of the Real Plan A pill. Cold-Blooded, we could thank Cold-Blooded for this. He willed her return into existence.
Yeah, can you hear me, by the way, Vet?
I can hear you.
I don't know why my camera's freaking giving out. Give me a moment, will you? Just continue on while I just fix this.
Continuing. But you're not going to miss this because Jay White is back. I'm going to say it the way Cornette does with all that disgust in his voice. Jay White is back. I'll put over Jerry Lawler doing nothing for 20 minutes, but if Jay White does nothing, he sucks. Jim Cornette.
Wow.
So he's taking on some guy named Cody Chun, and I thought they misspelled his name on the graphic, but it was the same on his tights. So I was like, oh, okay. Obviously Jay White wins this. He even gives the kid a little something, but he's still even a job match. Even a job match, Jay knows just the right amount to. I didn't think it was too much. It felt like it was going to be too much, and then he just shut him down and beat him. So he did it right.
I'll go with you on that, but still, I felt he shouldn't have done that much. Excuse me.
Think of it this way: no matter what Jay does, his position is what it is. But this kid, this could be his moment. So Jay gave him a little something. He's a nice guy. And then he cuts a promo on Page, Hangman Page, that is. They're going to have a match at Wrestledream, of course. So there's that. Aaron says, is Jay White any good now after AEW made him less important than what he was when he signed with AEW?
Well, you're going to have to wait and see, Aaron, to find out on that one.
Yeah.
Just quietly.
Yeah. Jay White is fine. Jay White is fine. Because he knows how, because Jay White is a worker, he knows the best way to get all this shit to not stick to him. So even when, this is something that like MJF is having trouble with. MJF is trying to do everything and he can't. It's too much of a burden and he's kind of collapsing under it. Right. But he's really, both these guys are youngs, like similarly young. But Jay is, used to, he's just better at being a heel, I guess. It sounds funny to say that, but I don't know how else to explain it. I don't want to take up too much time, but anyway, Hook is backstage and he's looking for his dad's, killer or whatever. And he runs into Kip Sabian.
Oh boy.
He runs into Kip Sabian and then he's like, all right, get out of here. And then the patriarchy comes and they're like, have you seen Kip Sabian? And Hook doesn't rat him out in true Hook fashion. He's like, nah, I ain't seen him or whatever he said. So I like that little bit of character. Like, even though he was literally just there and Hook has no reason to protect Kip Sabian, he still won't rat him out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, who knows what they wanted with him, but yeah.
It's just Hook has got to stop talking though a little bit. You know what I mean? He's got to like practice. Like, I feel like I don't want to say panic talks, but it's almost like, yo, Bet, I'm here, man. And it stops. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
It's hard to explain.
God, Hook is a guy that it just that's what I miss is being around guys like Hook that
You can
if I
mold.
could help anybody, yeah, I want
Right.
to like I just want to help because I see where he's going with it, so I want to go there. I feel like a lot of young wrestlers, they kind of see where they're going and they want to go in a certain direction, and then they have other people telling them, hey, don't do
Right.
this, and then they'll have somebody else come and tell them, hey, do this, and they'll get contradicting information. It's confusing for them because everybody's basing stuff on like either what got them over, or if they see something getting over, then they want to put a stop to it because they don't want people to get over because whatever reason. And so it's like it's tough, and I want to work with guys just to help them develop the things that they want to develop, you know, rather with their best interests, not the
Right.
best interest of
Exactly.
somebody else, right? So
And you know
I
what's
see a
sad?
guy like Hook that I was like, if only someone knew, you know.
It's ridiculous, dude, because you'd think his dad would actually school him on all this shit, and I assume he has, right? Come on. I mean, you think he would
Yeah,
have.
you
And that's the
think.
thing, man. But like he should even take him to look, I could be wrong. He could be practicing his promos week in, week out for all I know. And I'm sure he probably does. But he just needs to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? When he talks, I feels like he doesn't breathe, dude. It's like rah, rah, rah. Almost comes across as Tourette's and then just takes off. Like, you know what I mean? So just
Mm.
calm down, man. Like that vignette a few weeks ago, where that dog ran past somewhere in New York in the Red Hook section or wherever it was of Brooklyn. That was great, but that was the best sort of promo I've seen him do. But that was a vignette though, so it was pre-taped and all that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure they would have edited it. You know what I mean? But still, that was great stuff though.
yeah. Well, you know, he's doing his best. Renee is with Mariah. So they're following up on that number one contendership. And Willow pounces Mariah
Oh
May.
my god.
Like, get the hell out of here,
Oh my,
bitch.
it's like biatch.
Pounce. Yeah.
Do people forget that it's called a pounce? Have you noticed no one actually says pounce anymore?
No, they call it the pounce every time she does it.
Did they? Oh, I heard bulldozer.
Excalibur does.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
'Cause I hear him
the
say
pounce from Willow Day. Yeah.
the pounce, the pounce. I wish Monty Brown was still around, dude. I was such a big fan of his, dude.
Mm.
Pants.
Yeah, so okay, now we get now this. I have some questions. CEO versus Emi Sakura. What?
I love this match, bro.
Did you?
I did because Sakura was kicking the shit out of Monet throughout this match. We all know that Sasha Monet was gonna win, right? But I felt like she had to earn it, dude. She gave her a few potatoes. I don't know, dude. I actually enjoyed this match. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. They put on a good show. I mean, it looked like Sakura was. It went for quite a while too, dude. Did this match get close to 30 minutes? It felt like it.
It felt a lot longer than it was. It definitely went through
I'm
a
telling
break.
you.
Maybe
Yeah,
two.
definitely. Unbelievable. Wait. You talking about his first character, Mike, as in when he was the Tasmaniac, when he was the Tasmanian devil, literally? He was, it's pretty much what he was doing. I don't know if Hook should be that. I mean, come on. Nah, I don't agree with that one.
Whatever. I wish I could.
Yeah.
I wish I could help Hook under the table. That's all. Okay,
Maybe you
that
should
sounded
reach out
weird.
to him.
I wish
That did
I
sound
could
weird, actually.
secretly consult, much
Consult,
like
right.
allegedly some people on Hameen Media Group have consulted in the
Yes,
past. I wish
that's
that.
true.
But anyway, yes, the match is what it is. The statement maker, Emmy taps out to the statement maker, and then they're going to beat her up some more. Camille and Mercedes are going to beat up Emmy Sakura because of that long history they have of this one match right here, right now. And then Statlander prevents the further beating. She runs in, runs them off. You know, get out of here.
A whole bunch of
Clothesline.
Muppets running. Yay! Doing one of these ones. Yeah. DGAF.
Yeah.
And what's his Monet? That wig Monet was wearing too, dude. It was too thick. So I need to tell her it was a
Well,
like,
it wasn't coming off this time, at least.
That's true. That's actually a good point, but it seemed heavy, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Renee is with Private Party, and Stokely comes in and he offers his services to Private Party randomly. And they're like, essentially they say, nah. And then they do like a short promo saying something like, we're going to beat you, Young Bucks. I don't know. I don't remember.
That Stokely thing was weird.
All the way back on Tuesday. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised I'm even remembering half this shit because I watched it on Tuesday as well. And I thought to myself, you know what? I should wait till the end of the week because I'm going to forget half this shit. But luckily, as you're bringing it up, certain things are coming back to me though. So it's all good. But yeah, the Stokely part was a little weird for me, dude. What was up with that? And where is Stokely?
He's right here trying to get Private Party to.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know, man. They're messing him up now again, dude. They're fucking it up. But whatever.
Well, he's lost now that Statlander dumped him. He's a man without a country. He doesn't know where to go. He's trying to hook up with Private Party for some reason. I don't know why he thought they would be a good fit. But
do you think it would actually be a good fit if he was to sort of join?
He's a good fit with almost anybody, to be honest. But if we're talking about like in kayfabe's terms,
I'm talking about kayfabe.
No.
You know what I'll do with him? I'd put him with MVP and all that as the what's the guy's name from Nation of Domination? The
Clarence Mason, but Clarence Mason was Clarence Mason was a lawyer, so it made sense why he was there.
You can make
Stokely would just be another MVP. Now, what they should do is he should try to like join into them, and then but they should shut it down. Like, no, you can't. So that'd be like a one-time skit, not like he should join them. Yeah, they should be like, no, we're actually serious. You're a joke. You're always joking around. Maybe if you got serious, you wouldn't be trying to join people. People would be trying to join you, or some promo like that. I just came up with that off the top of my head, but you get it.
Pretty good. I get it.
All right. So Shivani brings Ospreay out. Then Ospreay says, Don Callis, get out here. And then what does this say? Oh, okay. I get it now. He was like, did you send Takeshita down to interfere in my match? And Don is like doing the whole, well, let's just go talk about this. It's like, oh, we're talking about it right now, bruv. And then he finally they do the thing where he keeps pushing Don until Don just admits, yes, I sent him. Yes, I sent him. I do it again. It's the A Few Good Men. Like somebody was clearly, maybe John Moxley was watching A Few Good Men and he was like, hey, remember that movie A Few Good Men where Tom Cruise keeps saying like, I want the truth. And then Jack Nicholson's like, you can't handle the truth. Well, what if Will Ospreay says like, did you send Takeshita? No. And Don Callis says, you don't want to know if I sent Takeshita. What if that happened?
Oh God, I would have been on the floor, literally dying.
Yep.
I mean, you know what? But you bring up a funny point because I can see that being legit, though, dude. I feel like Moxie's going through this movie sort of phase in his life for real, where him and Renee are kicking back. Oh, you think I'm joking? I'm being serious.
He had a lot of free time during rehab and recovery,
dude. I'm telling you, and he came across Romper Stomper first for the very first time ever, right? He's like, God damn it, I'm gonna be that guy. I want to be who Russell Crowe is, right?
And then he started watching more movies.
Rocky 3, dude. He must be.
He didn't watch the 7 Rocky movies, but he watched 3, and now he watched A Few Good Men.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. This is what's happening with Mox. He's on a movie. He's into movies lately. Put it that way, and he's throwing out ideas because he's been watching these movies. And you know what makes me laugh? Half the rest is probably like, of course, John, haven't you seen that movie years back? For example, whatever movie he was watching. But no, I just watched it now. Well, fuck. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. I just sense that. I wouldn't surprise me if there's any truth to that.
Yeah, well, when you steal stuff, you're supposed to like disguise that you stole it.
Right. Not in this case.
Like you would have to people would have to really be paying attention. And for those small group of people, then it's like, okay, it's fine if they get it. But you should make it obvious, Anyway, Fletcher comes out. There's a screwdriver involved. Ricochet comes out. Schmaz, whatever, triple threat.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah, this damn screwdriver, man, like
stupid, dude. And I've got a lot of screwdrivings to talk about later on. Put it that way.
Okay.
And there's one thing that popped me. I'll get to it. I hope I don't forget it though.
All right. Top Flight is backstage, and Layla and Action get into a yelling match with each other. So it's a different kind of match on the show. And unlike most matches, this was short. So, that happened. And then we get a promo from Lil Brooks Jensen. And then we get our main event, the Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta versus Pac and Claudio. That is what that is. Pac taps to the label lock. Odd that you would have a decisive finish in this match that doesn't need one. You should have just DQ something, whatever. Who cares? Bryan and Mox fight to the back and all the way back to the ring. So they go all the way back, then come all the way back to the ring. Where at this point, Yuta has been caught by everybody else, and Claudio's like hit him in the gut with a hammer. So basically, heels up to end the show. Everybody's got their ass kicked by the new owners, let's say.
The new owners. Wow, these screams of just lazy booking again, dude. Still, absolutely lazy. But there's more lazy to be told very shortly. Please, is that it? That's the end of Dynamite, right?
That's the end of Dynamite. So, I'm gonna take it that you miss Rampage again.
Yeah, I did actually. I watched last week's. So I actually missed this week's, but yeah.
Well, let's speed through it. Kyle and Orange versus the Undisputed Kingdom. Mike Kanellis gets choked out, and then the conglomeration offers a handshake, and they accept. So, still doing this soft babyface thing that they've been doing lately.
Okay. That's weird.
Renee's with the CEO, and she's just there to say that they got to go she's got to go catch a private jet, but Camille's going to stay so she can watch Chris Statlander's match.
Oh, cool.
There is the Acclaimed. They're coming out for a match because Max didn't feel like writing a rap this week. They get jumped by MXM. And MXM tries to cut like a semi-serious promo over their beaten bodies. And they say at Wrestledream, we're going to take your spot. And they have a mystery third man that's going to be at ringside with them when they do it. So, don't spoil this. All right. Damn. Next is the Chris Statlander vignette. She uses the phrase, "I'm born again, Kristen." And I was like, all right, I'm stopped listening now.
Yeah.
But essentially she's just trying to justify why she's a babyface again. It's like, I made some mistakes. I did what I had to do. Like, okay. Renee's with Kyle and Orange. And then Rocky is like, Rocky's there. And Kyle's like, Mark's not here. We don't have a word of the day. And Rocky's like, the word of the day is you guys stay back here and I'm going to go out there and handle business. So, cool. Statlander versus somebody named Amira, and Camille is watching on the monitor, of course. Statlander hits the Friday Night Fever, and Camille still watches. Renee is with Jericho. Jericho tries to do a somewhat of a serious promo as far as he can do inside of this gimmick. It's a good promo. He does have a word of the day. The word of the day is humble, which is, Mark has been, he needs to be humbled because people have been being nice to him ever since his brother died. And, he's got to learn some humility, and there's no free rides, basically what Jericho's promo is. And he's going to take that belt and become the Nueve.
Oh, the Nueve, not the Ocho.
Well, yeah, he's already been the Ocho. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we get, the Beast Mortos versus Butcher.
Oh,
like this guy's still here. Match. Yeah, it could have been, but it was. Yeah, he was like, I guess he was out of provisions at his shop, and he needed to get some more steaks, so he thought he'd cut him off this guy.
Well, speaking of steaks, can I ask, is his former tag team partner gone from AEW? He got released, didn't he?
No.
As in the Blade, or is he still there?
I think he's catastrophically injured or something because I think Allie is gone.
Yeah, she
Like
got.
I think the
I
bunny
remember.
is gone. But when the Butcher came out, the graphics on the screen still said Butcher and Blade. So they would have erased that if he was like gone.
Okay,
Unless they're
interesting.
that disorganized that they got.
Wow.
Yeah, you never know. But I was pretty sure he got injured in the first place. So
Okay.
yeah, whatever. Roderick
Well,
Strong's on commentary, trying to tell the story of like, I thought me and Mordos were friends. I thought he was going to
oh,
join the Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah.
damn. That would
Well,
be funny
obviously,
though.
you know who wins this. You got to give
Right.
Mortos a strong win because he's got a 2 out of 3 falls match coming up, which we didn't know at this point, I don't think. But he's got a
No.
match against Hologram at Wrestledream, and yeah, so we got to give him a strong win against the guy that never wins, the Butcher.
Right.
He
And I hate
there
that.
was a there was a
Sorry,
spot
continue.
where there was this, and Jake Roberts is watching, by the way. He's also watching backstage because this is his new talent. So he's watching. But there was a spot where like Mordos came off the top with like some move, and the Butcher just it was like he like I don't even know what to call the move because I don't know if this was exactly what he wanted it to be or if this is just what he improvised, but he basically climbed up the turnbuckle like he's facing out toward the audience, and then he sort of like turns and like flips and sort of twists and whatever, and just ends up like hitting Butcher with all shoulders, and Butcher just falls over. It looks like the weakest thing, but that's what beat him. So it was pretty funny.
Mortos.
Renee is with Harley Cameron. She says everything is Anna Jay's fault.
Okay.
And she's gonna
Why?
She, that's what Renee wanted to know. She's like, why? She's never. You guys have, she wasn't even there. Like she blamed Anna Jay for Saraya getting beat in the 4-way match, and Renee was like, she wasn't even there, and Harley's like, exactly. She should have came out to help or something. So
He's freaking nursery rhyme shit.
So she's gonna kick when she's Soraya's pissed, and when Soraya's pissed, I'm gonna kick your ass. That was actually her go home line on the promo. So, okay,
Cool.
Archer versus Matt Brannigan.
Who?
Because you got to give Lance Archer a strong win now that he's part of the Callis family. Get him a strong win.
Is this the main event?
No.
Oh,
no, we got a big main event.
a banger.
A big business main event.
Oh,
a Bad Apple main event. All right, so
nice.
So yeah, Don Callis at the desk putting Archer over, saying, "I know him from Japan," and then he won the match. We get a promo that apparently took place on Tuesday, with Jake Roberts and LFI, like I guess after he acquired their services. So it's him with the 3 guys. So it's a good, Jake Roberts does most of the promo, and then Roosh gets his horns line in. And Mortos goes, "Arr."
Mortos promos are the best, dude.
Mm-hmm. and then Renee is with Anna Jay, and she's like, "Hey, Harley Cameron's talking some shit." And Anna Jay's like, "You want to kick this ass?" And she points to her ass and kind of puts her hip toward the camera. And then she's like, "Well, this ass kicks back." And that's her going line. So, yeah.
Ooh. Very, very nice.
And then we get our main event, which is Rocky Romero versus Big Business, Bad Apple, Bounty Hunter, Brian Bakeith. And this match takes up like half of the Rampage runtime.
Really?
It felt like, yeah, it's like everything else was crammed in the first 30 minutes, and then this was like the last.
And that's
like
what
20.
I genuinely like about Rampage, when they cram shit in and put as much as they can. You know what I mean? Then we got this.
But it did take Romero did not handle business, but it did take a Diamond Dust and Bill's help to win. But the Bounty Hunter gets the win. So there you go.
Geez.
Exciting Rampage main event.
I just want to. I'm not sure if Liz trolling here, but she says in April, Blade said he has lower back injuries, bulging discs in the L2, L3, L4, L5, and ruptured discs in L3, L4, L5, and S1. There's no
Uh,
way that's legit.
Liz doesn't troll,
No. I'm not
so
saying that Liz is trolling.
he could be, Blade could be, but
Yeah.
you know how
He wouldn't
wrestlers
be able
like
to walk.
to tell stories.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be able to walk like that. But anyway, that was the real wreckage, right? Of AEW for this week. But wait, Vet, it gets better with the Wrestledream
Oh
wreckage
yes, yes,
that we're
dream.
about to talk about. I'll get
Now,
into the
what about
pre-show.
the pre-show? I did see. I was able to see. I wanted to see that who was the MXM's mystery partner or whatever. So I did
Oh, you
see
get
this,
ready for
but
disappointment.
I know who it is now because I
Oh,
saw it.
okay,
But I'm just letting you know what I did see and what I didn't see on this particular show because with my time constraints, I couldn't possibly watch all of Wrestledream and still bring you the wreckage on time with Jimmy. So
yeah, man. Look, it's hard to do, dude. Thank God there was no collision, like I said.
I pulled my back out to a valley with my wife. All right, well, we might as well just get out of here with that. Tell the people what
cold, bro.
All right.
Well, look, yeah, that was the pre-show. I think you were talking about it first, right? So continue if you still have anything to say about it.
No, I just we'll talk about that when we get to it. Whatever that MXM match was, but
Well,
did they have another match before that?
They do because it's Atlantis Junior.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what is this? Wait a minute.
Atlantis Junior was the
match?
Ring of Honor TV champion.
Right, I didn't know that. So because I haven't been watching Ring of Honor, but anyway, Atlantis Junior, your TV Ring of Honor TV champion versus Brian Cage, and look, I was just sort of just glaring at this match. It wasn't long; it was pretty short. Brian Cage does win by pinfall and becomes your new Ring of Honor Television champion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he joins the likes of the prestigious Atlantis Junior.
Atlantis Junior.
And
wow.
The guy he beat for it.
Hey, at least a big guy beat a small guy for once. I mean, that's positive.
That's pretty crazy. It's
crazy.
crazy. This is about, I think this is, let's see, AEW's been around 5 years.
Yeah.
I think Brian Cage has picked up about an average of 1 win a year. So I'm going to say that there was like maybe 1 year where he won 0 matches and 1 year where he won 2. So that like brings the average to about 1 per year. And I guess this is his win for 2024 and it's a belt. So that's good.
Absolutely. That's good. Speaking of good though, Vet, it is Anna Jay versus Harley Cameron next.
Oh,
and
okay.
This is
I didn't see this match, but I did see something from this match. So
what was that?
Oh, okay. So someone posted a clip. I think I saw it because of the Mighty Bobo, because he wanted to do a wellness check on Jimmy Corderas after this. Because what happened was, it was Anna Jay hit her finish or whatever on Harley. And she pinned Harley and she laid on top of Harley so that like Harley's shoulder, like her shoulder was up off the mat because Anna was laying on it. So she couldn't like necessarily put it down, or she didn't put it down. And the referee reached over and like pushed her shoulder on the mat and then counted to 3.
I didn't see that. I didn't actually notice that. Again, I wasn't really paying attention to the pre-show as much, but
I wouldn't blame you. And had I actually watched the match, I might not have seen it either. But because it was a posted clip that was going around. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is wrong with, like, people are roasting referees all over professional wrestling, and they're still finding new ways to piss the fans off with how bad they are at their job. Like, you would think that every ref would be on their toes now after all this bullshit. You know, like all these stupid things they're getting called out for doing, and then and you'd think they'd be like, okay, we gotta be on our game. You know, we can't be doing this, and they keep doing it.
I will say, but they've been consciously trying harder, though. I've noticed the AEW refs in particular. I've noticed they've actually been trying. Well, trying to improve. What does trying mean? For whatever reason, well, that's true. It's subjective, I guess. But yeah, look, like they're putting more emphasis. Like they're screaming at the refs for doing illegal shit. They're trying to count to 5. You know, little things like that. But like you just said, they still manage to screw up, though. You know what I mean? But they are trying. I'll give them that. They're trying.
But I understand. Like, if you were faced with a situation that you've never been in before, like, okay, yeah, I'm confused, so that could lead to some confusion. Or like a lot of times, what happens is because if it's not the planned finish, then they hold up their count, even though the person didn't kick out. That's happened multiple times in AEW and WWE. And everywhere else, I'm sure, but just nobody cares to report on anything but those two. But this, he reached in and put her shoulder on the mat physically. That's even a league above, like when they would hold the ladders for wrestlers who were climbing a ladder.
Oh my God, bro! Can you remember that?
Yes, that was early on AEW.
Right, I know that's bizarre, but I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just weird shit. Like, I don't know. Personally, me, I'd be self-conscious about it all the time. Like, so, look, maybe they're nervous wrecks, vet. You know what I mean? Like,
but you don't accidentally push a talent's shoulder to the mat. That's not an accident.
But that's true.
If she didn't pin her, you just say her shoulder's not down, which the referee could say if it was a shoot, right? Like if wrestling's a shoot and you're trying to pin somebody and their shoulder isn't down, you could just say shoulder's not down.
That's fact.
And Harley, which look, what I did see of this match, the tiny bit that I saw, rotten, obviously. I've been telling Harley Cameron she has no business wrestling, but even like that sucked too. But then also, like, you should have the presence of mind. You could feel that air under your shoulder. You need to get your shoulder down. Get your shoulder down. Jeez.
Yeah, she's so green. And, you know, the more you say that, the more we're seeing her on television, bro. That's what's ironic.
She needs reps.
I mean, hey, at least they're trying with her, right?
It's a double-edged sword. It's like a catch-22. Like, she needs reps, but if she gets reps, then we have to watch her get reps.
Right. And she's on every show, man. But anywho, Anna Jay does win via pinfall with the Gory Buster. And that's that. So we can move on.
And but because with an assist from the ref.
With an assist from the ref. But next, we do have MXM Collection in Mansoor and Mason Madden versus the acclaimed in Anthony Bowens and Platinum Max Caster. Now, MXM are seconded by no less than Rico Constantino. Vet. Rico, yes, that Rico from Billy and Chuck days. Yeah, that one too. The former police officer in Las Vegas, if I remember correctly.
The former American Gladiator.
Yeah, also an American Gladiator. And boy, has he not aged well. I mean, seriously, I get why they did it. I mean, he looked pretty thrashed. He looks old now, man.
Well, he is old.
Unfortunately.
He's like 75 years old.
I don't know about that old, but he'd probably be in his 60s, I assume. He was old
60,
when he was
He's 63. He's 63. I know how old he is.
There
I was just trying to make a joke, but well, anyway, do you have anything to actually say about the match? Because I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I did see enough. Did you have any thoughts on it? Besides that you thought Rico's old?
Well, my attention, because I like MXM Collection, right? Don't know why, I just do. The rap actually at first is what got my attention. Little Max Caster's little rap. I didn't pay attention to the whole rap, but there was just one thing that sort of stood out for me. And it was kind of the Diddy Oil sort of thing that he said towards, you know, what I'm saying is basically, you know, MXM, you know how they act like you guys are, remember like the AEW podcast where RJ's like, you guys are, and you think he's alluding to them being gay, right? And they're like, yeah, we're that, RJ, or we're not that. I can't remember, but you get my drift. The funny thing is, here we go having like an anti-gay sort of promo where he's basically calling MXM Collection like a bunch of gays because they were using Diddy's friggin' baby oil, fucking each other, basically, right? And I'm thinking, but you guys act like you're gay, so why are you like? Well, suddenly you guys are like,
one of
not
you
gay
is
anymore. Right? Yeah, exactly. One of them's 100% gay. I just found that weird. You know what I mean? Even
the whole thing is weird,
right?
Like because you're trying. Well, and by the way, the joke on Hey EW was they end up saying, "Are you guys models?" And they're like, "Yes, we are." So that's what they were joking around. But in the ring, Billy cut a promo and was like, "This is your big thing to you got this guy that tried to trick me into marrying another guy," and then he says, "No offense, Anthony." Like, yeah. So I don't know.
That was you got to check that out. That was actually pretty good, man. I laughed from the start to finish with that interview. I think RJ is a lot better than people give him credit for, man. I'm talking about RJ City, obviously. He looks like a dork, but he's kind of funny. But anyway, so yeah, the Acclaim with their weird. Just stop rapping now, Max, please. That's my point. But anywho, this match went for way too long, for my liking. I can't stand the Acclaim anymore, but the Acclaim do win via pinfall with a mic drop from Max Caster onto Mansoor. A lot of shenanigans. But in the end, we also see Billy Gunn, the one Billy Gunn, sort of get upset at Rico saying, "Oh, I know why you guys did this, blah, blah, blah." He gets a famous for his trouble, and everybody's happy, and everyone's like, "Yay!" and they leave.
Yeah.
That's about
it. I didn't agree that Rico looked bad. I thought Rico looked pretty damn good, actually. Well, first of all, he was into everything. Like, sometimes when a 63-year-old man, when a 63-year-old man goes out there and they look like, I don't have any idea what's going on. But he was very with the gimmick. He was at ringside, like, actually reacting to the match like he would because, he's a professional. He did a spin kick. Like he looked, he's still jacked.
Yeah.
So
somewhat.
I mean, he's jacked. Jimmy, come on. He's
63
years old.
All right, that's true. That's true. For that age, yeah. Okay, that's true. Definitely. Just a little bit saggy. You know what I mean?
He's 63.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
But anyway, yeah, he looked good. He looked so good to me, and I thought he moved very well. He was with all the stuff in the match that I saw, interfering a lot, doing stuff. So yeah, and remember, like, Rico started old. I wonder how good he could have been if he had gotten into wrestling early.
I mean, did he start in his late 30s or early 40s, dude?
Yes.
In his prime, wasn't he in what do you call it? VW around. Oh, it would have been before your time.
He was like one of the first one. Like he was there before Cena and Shelton and Orton and all those guys. Like he was like right before them, I think.
Yeah, it was the generation before, like the group before the next group.
Right. And I mean he obviously they didn't want to they didn't want to sign him because of his age, back then.
That's amazing, dude. I mean, people forget that Batista was in his friggin' late 30s when he signed.
Yeah, so, but I think Rico was even older then. But
yeah, I for some reason 42 around that age is what rings a bell to me.
Yeah, so
and it makes
but
sense.
It's not like you wouldn't have been able to tell how old he was just by looking at him. But then they gave him, but because they didn't have no faith in him, they give him the gimmick, which was not like the gimmick that he had. So, and he's just like, okay, so I'll do this gimmick. I'll be the stylist, whatever. So,
and he killed it, dude. Honestly, you got to give credit. I mean, he had a longer run than he should have with that gimmick.
Yeah. So
I'll give him credit
good for Rico getting a payday, man. He does look good.
Where's he been actually before this? Because I haven't heard of Rico since back then. Was he still even doing anything? Do you know?
I know he was on the Wrestling with Rip Rogers.
Oh, really? Oh, I think
show.
I
Yeah.
remember that one. Right.
And I know he may have had some. I think he had some health problems
Oh,
recently,
really?
but he looks very good now. So
Are we
hopefully that's all done. But
do you expect to see more of him in AEW, or is it just a one and done, you think?
it depends. I mean, he looked good enough that I could see them wanting him to come back for a couple things. But yeah, who knows?
We'll see. Well, next. Now, I didn't even bother with this match, truth be told. I totally missed it. Totally. But it's the one of those, how many man tag matches in the Beaver Boys, the OG Beaver Boys, in Alex Reynolds and John Silver. I was going to say something else, and the Premier Athlete brand in Ari Davari and Tony Nese versus the Outrunners in Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, and the conglomeration. I can't even pronounce it properly for whatever reason. Say it for me, Vet.
The conglomeration, baby.
The conglomeration. That's it. In Colorado and Orange Cassidy. You know what? It wasn't like I said, I didn't watch this match, but going by this, the match didn't seem long at all. But thank God the Outrunners and say it again for me, so I don't.
The conglomeration.
There we go. Win by pinfall from the Outrunners onto Ari Davari. I'm glad because the Outrunners are on a bit of a streak now, so that's good for them. But I still don't see them doing too much with them yet. They're giving them wins, but they're not doing anything with them. So do something with them, TK, please. Crying out loud.
Well, you don't want to Daniel Garcia these guys.
No, definitely not. And I doubt we'll ever get. Well, actually, you know.
Although it would make sense if they wore dad jeans, but I think they prefer Zubaz.
But it is the 80s. I mean, come on. People forget that Hawk from the Road Warriors was the guy that invented those pants, as a matter of fact, dude. The Subas pants. So there you go. Anyway, but let's get into the pay-per-view proper because we start off with an absolute banger. And it is Hangman Adam Page versus Switchblade Jay White. I'm not going to lie. I had a bad feeling at first. But then I'm thinking, as the match was starting and the pop that Jay White got, bro, I mean, I was kind of happy for him. I know he's a douchebag heel, but I don't care, dude. He's too cool for school, bro. And I just love the way people now are sort of getting accustomed to him, you know what I mean? Because if you remember when he first debuted, it felt a bit 50-50. People weren't sure about him. But now people seem to dig him. And this match was great. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed this match from start to finish. And the right man did get over. But Vet, tell us what you thought, man. What do you think about this match?
Yeah, despite the empty-headed idiot, they got a good match to start off Wrestledream. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's just Jay White. It's Jay
love the
Mignon.
finish too.
He's the reason.
Hey, Mignon,
he's the reason.
exactly.
He's the reason we're here. He's always the main course. I hope people appreciate what they're seeing, but yeah, like, and this, as far as like this babyface-ish thing, it's only because they're cheering for the lesser of two evils. I'm sure when the time is right, Jay's gonna flip him again because that's where he works best. But absolutely, yeah, fucking Hangman Page, yeah. They still even with Dark Hangman, like even with this whole like unhinged gimmick where he's got different music, he's clearly out of his mind. Like his feud with Swerve has driven him insane, and he's still wearing like glittery flame on his tights. Like it's like he's not dark enough that he's gonna take the glitter out. Like we're not that far spiraled down. Like we'll still have the glittery pants, but damn it, I'm so disturbed. You know, I'm gonna start drinking again. Yeah.
What dirty? I mean, fuck.
Yeah. So that happened, but
the finish though was great. I actually loved the finish. Because obviously, Hangman in the middle of the match has got to sell his knee because he had a bit of a bum knee. That's when I knew 100% that Jay White was going to win. There's no doubt about it because they're playing up with the knee. But when he went to do his finisher, what's it called again? I've gone blank again, man.
Buckshot Lariat.
The Buckshot Lariat. When he went to do the Buckshot Lariat, his knee was still good enough to actually do the Buckshot Lariat. But as he went to hit him with the Lariat, and I'm talking about Hangman hitting Jay with the lariat. Jay with the perfect reversal into the switchblade. 1, 2, 3. And I mean, he pinned him properly. There was no way he was kicking out, even if he tried. Got the 1, 2, 3, and that place lifted. But throughout the whole match, you were hearing, let's go, Hangman. Fuck you. Cowboy shit. And fuck you, Hangman chants.
Yeah.
From one side to the other, the whole match. So it's funny. People seem to really either hate him or love him. He's still got his fans, though, out there, man, which is kind of odd.
I mean, if you know anything about the actual guy or even just the stuff that has been made public about his wrestling career, it's hard to... It's like, how could you like him still?
I know, dude.
How could you like a guy that openly says, like, I don't need advice from veterans?
And there's videos out there that show him saying that. He says it in interviews. He's just a dickhead, dude, straight up. But yeah, White does win. And if anyone sabotages their own career, it's him. It's all his fault. So it is what it is. But Jay does get the win. We do see at the end, we see Juice Robinson coming out celebrating with Jay White. But you also see, I've got a feeling this is not over yet. Hangman was saying, get the fuck out of here. He was shocked that he ended up losing the match. But the right man did win the match, and that's all that matters. Jay White gets your win. I find one more thing before we do move on, though, Vet. There was a comment from one of the commentators that kind of, I think it was Nigel McGuinness, that kind of perked my ears a little bit. He mentioned about Jay White's sabbatical. Not that he was injured, but it was actually, what's his name, with the mask, correcting him, saying, oh, he was injured, blah, blah, blah. But Nigel made it seem like he wasn't injured. He was on sabbatical for whatever reason. So I found that kind of interesting. I actually truly believe he was on some sort of sabbatical, dude. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe he wasn't happy with the direction. I have no idea. Or he was really injured. You tell me.
I don't know. But whatever it was, they made a point of like trying to explain, even in a kayfabe sense of like, well, we don't see him with any like he's not taped up or anything like that, so he's not giving Hangman any targets to go after or something like that. So they're saying like if he's hurt, he's disguising his injury or something, or you could just be 100% healed, but whatever. But I think, but they also alluded to the fact of like, he said there's 2 people on his list that he has to correct the wrongs. One of them's Hangman, and he didn't say who the other one was, but based on
the other one be MJF.
Well, if you remember, the person that he got hurt was like it was in a match with Christian, I thought. And Christian's got that. It was a match, and okay. Christian's got the Money in the Bank gimmick. So I could I could foresee Jay White thinking like, I'm just gonna take that. Like I'll take that from Christian and I'll take the title shot. I think
I'm down for that. I'm cool with that if they go there. But Lou said Excalibur made the comment he was injured, but Jay wouldn't disclose what the injury was. Thank you. Yeah, it was Excalibur. But yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, we'll see where they go. Hopefully they don't screw it up. I'm never confident though when it comes to AEW and their booking. But whatever. Next though, Vet, we got a AEW Women's World Championship match between Mariah May and Willow Nightingale. Mariah May is the champion. And this match, it was kind of crazy for a women's match. I mean, it was pretty good for what it was. Nevertheless, though, I mean, look, we've seen this type of match before. Willow is
it wasn't
crazy,
a hardcore
man.
match this time, was it?
No, it wasn't, but it felt like it, sort of. I mean, in some ways. But nevertheless, Willow tried, but she couldn't, get the win. Unfortunately for her, it was Mariah May.
Did she pounce?
She would have pounced 100%, but I missed it because it was the time I went for, a quick piss. But and so she did pounce. I missed it, but I'm pretty sure, she did pounce. I mean, she pounced pretty quick actually at the start of the match, so that's why I missed it. Right at the start of the match, she pretty much pounced, and then we're off to the races. But it was a good match from what I saw, and Mariah May does win by pinfall with the Storm Zero retaining the AEW Women's World Championship. I was surprised we didn't see Toni Storm though, like
She's
making
busy.
an appearance yet. She's probably still in Australia for dude. Because ever since she's come
do you
here
still
to promote,
hate Mariah May?
I don't know, man. I know. Look, I know she's talented. It's got nothing to do with her talent. I know how talented she is.
Well, yeah, we had to hear about it from you for like.
I don't know because she did. She look for a woman that hasn't wrestled for that many years. She did make a good impression, in Japan. She really did. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of rumblings about her long before she joined any North American promotion. So, but it's also like Julia. She's part of that sort of group of wrestlers. But Mariah May and Julia were the ones that were always spoken about during that time, particularly. But again, even Julia, though, she hasn't been in the business for that many years. You know what I mean? She really hasn't. I think she's only wrestled for like 6 years. And I think the same with Mariah May, maybe even a little less. Considering how long they've been in the business for, they're great. You know what I mean? It's just Mariah May. She can just get annoying for me, but I get it. It's her gimmick, though. So it's not like, she's meant to make me feel that way. But as a talent, she's got a big upside. There's no doubt about it, man. Like, absolute no doubt about it. I just feel like AEW's direction with her is a little weird. That's all. Yes, she's the champion, but does she really feel like the champion? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the minute they introduced that secondary belt, I wasn't sure who felt like the champion.
That's another bizarre thing because tell me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it feel like Money is your real champion, as weird as that sounds, even though she's the secondary champion?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and Jade felt the same way too because she had a big undefeated streak with that belt. So it's like whoever is the AEW Women's Champion always feels like they're playing second fiddle to the TBS champion.
Lately, absolutely. It's bizarre, dude. But it is what it is. Nevertheless, like I said, Mariah May does retain her championship. I was expecting Toni Storm, but we didn't get her. But next, we have the scapegoat in Jack Perry. And this is for your TNT championship, by the way. Who is your champion versus Katsuyori Shibata. And to my surprise, this was a lot fun than I expected. Both of them were kicking the shit out of each other, though, to be fair. There's a lot of kicks back and forth. The chops that Shibata was giving Jack Perry was horrendous. He even did the machine gun chops. Usually when everyone does the machine gun chops, they're kind of stupid. It's slow. It's kind of like look at the way, what's his name? The fathead, friggin' Eddie Kingston. The way he does it, it's just like pa, 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 pa. Like, do you understand where I'm coming from? But Shibata, when I say these were the hardest machine gun chops I've ever seen in my life, he was like, pa, 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 pa. Like, I mean, whacking the kid, man. Like, he would have, he's going to feel this till next week. It was Chop City, bro. Shibata absolutely made sure he earned Jack Perry's win, and that leads me to the finish. Don't get me wrong, cool finish, but there's an issue. They did the good old, Shibata had the rear naked choke on, right? Onto Jack Perry. Now, they both go back onto the mat, right? And obviously Shibata's shoulders are down, right? So suddenly the ref's got brains in AEW because, usually they don't, but they did here. Decides to count 1, 2, 3 because he sees Shibata's shoulders down. There's a little problem with this finish that I've got. Sure, I get the finish, but 99% of the fucking time, everyone that does this rear naked choke generally, right, usually has their shoulders down anyway, right? I'm talking about the chicken wing choke in particular, where you're literally on your back. Aren't your shoulders down at that point? Correct? Shouldn't they always count the 1, 2, 3 then?
I mean, they could.
So then that inconsistency. If
maybe the ref will even push your shoulder down just to make sure your shoulders are down and count the 1, 2, 3 on you.
Maybe, but that was your finish, and it kind of shit me, bro. Only because I would be cool with it if there was consistency in those type of finishes. If you're gonna do that, then make sure you do it every time, no matter who puts a chokehold on, because then obviously a chicken wing is not is not a hold that you need to freaking use to win a match because your shoulder's always going to be fucking on the mat. So whatever, man. Jack Perry retains his TNT championship thanks to that. He wasn't even aware of what he was doing. And yeah, and that's freaking that. But after, that's when we get your best friend in Daniel Garcia rocking up.
Dad jeans?
Sorry?
Dad jeans?
Dad jeans turns up. Your boy Dad jeans.
All right.
He turns up and the crowd pop for him, whatever, cool. Perry though scatters. He went to attack Jack Perry. He quickly scatters. Shibata and what's it called? Garcia, embrace, blah blah blah. But have no fear. We hear Maxwell Jacob Freeman's theme hit. And as he's coming out, we see Scapegoat returning to blindside Garcia, then leaves him laying. And then Max takes his jacket off, basically, kicking the shit out of Garcia. Cool. He got his ring back, by the way, from the pawn shop, just quietly. He paid to get his ring back, because if you remember, Daniel Garcia pawned it off somewhere in Buffalo. So he paid for it to get it back. He tells Garcia, "You're going to kiss it." And as he said that, we hear, "It's all about the boom. Adam Cole, baby." Adam fucking Cole makes his return looking skinnier and bonier than ever. No shit. Not an ounce of muscle after all that time away. I mean, at least MJF looked jacked. No shit. This guy looks sick. Nevertheless, MJF shits pants. It's like he's seen a ghost. He runs off, scatters away. Everyone's fucking going bay and whatever. Basically, the point of the story is MJF is back and Boom Boom guy, Bay, Adam Cole is back also. He needs to hit the gym badly, though, dude. I can't look at him serious. I just can't, dude. Please.
I didn't see it, so
thank God. I think you guys know right, though, man.
What'd she say?
Britt apparently sucked the life out of him. Damn.
I thought they broke up because she didn't suck the life out of him. Well, anyway, regardless,
shit.
You guys know how I feel about Adam Cole. I'm not gonna say it again. I didn't really watch this segment. I mean, like most of the show, I didn't watch. So I guess were the people at least? Did he get a good response coming out? Did MJF get a good pop coming out?
Yeah, actually, the place absolutely lit up. As soon as you hear the place just lit up, dude, for real. People still love him, obviously. He gets on the mic, talks a little bit of shit. But I already told you, it's just basically about his ring, getting it back from the pawn shop, and that's that. But, look, I'm happy for MJF. He looks jacked more than ever. Whereas Adam Cole, clearly, has only been playing video games. The only thing that's jacked is his thumbs. I mean, fuck. I guess he's not even doing this because his forearms are tiny as. I mean, shit. Do something, dude. Come on. Anyway, I'm not actually, but at least I'll give AEW credit. There was some continuation in terms of story, between these two, at least. So, yeah, cool. If MJF doesn't eat him alive, though, I'll be bitterly disappointed. Yeah,
well, we always like a surprise. We always like a surprise return, right? Except for me, when I always think like, okay, so if nobody was gonna beat up anybody, then why was somebody, like when someone comes to make the save, but it's like a full return with an entrance, like, like for example, the way Edge debuted, right? Like it was like he had a whole movie and a full entrance, to come down there and while somebody was about to get killed by Christian. So like he did his full thing. But what if Christian had just gone to the back after winning the match? Like, does that mean Edge doesn't come out then? He's not going to make his debut because nobody was going to kill somebody? So,
I guess not.
So, I don't know. But hey, they're both back. MJF is back, even though he was here not that long ago, and Adam Cole's back. Yay.
And Liz says that's why they broke up. He had nothing left. I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure everything is shrunk with him,
That
but that's another
succubus
question.
Britt
But,
Baker.
I mean, she's lost a lot of soul too. If you think about it, she's lost a lot of weight also. Who knows? Maybe they'll both sucking each other's souls away. But anyway, neither him or her at this point. Let's get on to the next matchup though, because it is Konosuke Takeshita versus Ricochet. Yes, I said Ricochet because the Yappa Dapper himself called him Ricochet, bro. I'm not lying. I swear to God. Tell me
Did he
anyone
sell
in
it?
the chat. No, he no sold it. No
Oh,
sold
dude.
it completely. I wish he did. And dude, I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention to it. I was talking to D as the entrance was happening. Can you still hear me, Vet, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I was talking to D, and then I hear Jason Roberts literally announce Ricochet, and we both just looked at each other as he said it, and I looked back. Okay, he just said Ricochet. Like he literally called him Ricochet, bro. Ricochet no souls it. I don't know why he said that. I don't know if it was an accident or that's just what came into his head. I have no idea, dude. But I wish I took a snippet from it, but I can't because there's no way I can do it. I need the whole pay-per-view to take a snippet of it. And it would have taken time. But I'm telling you now, anyone that watched it, please tell me I'm lying because I wasn't lying. He called him Ricochet. That popped me. I laughed. I don't know why he said it, but he said it. And anyway, but it wasn't just him, it was also Will Ospreay involved in this match. And this match, look, I can't believe it. The right man actually won this. This was Takeshita's coming out party, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I think this was the match that now people like him, like they're behind him, dude. And I think a star was born in this match in terms of for AEW. I truly think this was Takeshi's, coming to the party sort of match, and he killed it, bro. It wasn't just Ricochet. It wasn't just Will Ospreay doing this stupid shit. The cool thing about this match was a spot where, they're both on the Spider-Man pose bullshit. You know what I mean? They're jumping off the ropes. They're both landing at the same time, doing one of these ones like they're Michael Jackson. I have no idea. But you get what I'm saying, right? They do that, but everyone's popping. But as soon as they did that, Takeshi just comes from the outside and just takes them both out with like a double sort of, like he'd done a drop kick from the outside, but it hit them both as they're posing. I'll pop to that, dude. I was like, that was cool. And the crowd were getting behind. Dude, I'm telling you, the crowd were getting behind Takeshita more than Ospreay and Ricochet. The more this match was going, the more they were getting behind Takeshita. Heck, so was I. I was even rooting for Takeshita. And man, thank God he ends up winning the match, even though there was some fuckery, obviously, because in the end, we had this is obvious that it was going to happen, but we get, Ospreay's best friend, Cole Fletcher, comes in with a hoodie, right? But his blonde hair is still hanging out.
That's Kyle Fletcher in a hoodie.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, it's Kyle Fletcher in a hoodie. Comes out with a screwdriver, pretends to hit Ospreay. This is dumb. He hits it. It's like he tried to stab him and he stabs him. So he gets the 1, 2, 3, right? Takeshita. But afterwards, he realizes there's no blood, mind you. He realizes I just got stabbed in the back of the head. So no sells it, looks at at his friend, and he's like, "You just stabbed me, bruv. You just stabbed me, bruv." Whatever, man. Then they hit him again. There was no blood. If you're gonna hit someone with a screwdriver, god damn it. I don't care if it's fake blood. Do something. There's got to be blood, man. Like, there's no ifs or buts. There's got to be blood. And don't wake up straight away. Like, come on, you got stabbed with a fucking screwdriver in the head.
Do you think maybe they shaved the screwdriver down?
Even if it was shaved, all right? That's still fucking blunt force trauma and a pretty bad one, too. You know what I mean? So, whatever, man. Takeshi is your champion, and believe me, it was a well-earned win. Even though there was the fuckery at the end. Right, but even the commentator said, regardless of the screwdriver, he really he earned it, man. He was really the star of this match. Right. He made them both look like idiots at times, and I'm glad he did. You know what I mean? And he was getting the crowd were into him. He was getting into it. But like Todd says, where's the blood, bruv? Not in this match. screwdrivers and all, stabs in the head.
It's everywhere
No
else,
blood.
but
Yeah.
not this one. Well, again, I didn't see this one, so I'll take your word for it. But I still think Takeshita's a cheese sandwich. But hey, like if he's finally out of his shell a little bit, then good for
Trust
him.
me, dude.
We'll see if he can.
Well,
I specifically don't trust you. That's why I say that, because
believe me, I'm not the biggest Takeshita fan. But look what Liz says, for example. She says it was the end of the match that made me shake my head. Like it would have been totally clean. I'd have been more on board if all the bullshit didn't happen. That's the only thing that was the negative. But
yeah,
trust
so
me,
let me just quickly, before we move on to the next match, let me just quickly break down why there's certain, as Cody might say, tired old tropes in wrestling that, as another legendary wrestler will always say, Dutch Mantel, if you always do what you always did, then you always get what you always got. So the whole idea of you have to do this thing to screw Will Ospreay because you need to protect Will Ospreay, right? Like,
that's what it is.
Ospreay is he's the golden goose, so we got to protect Will Ospreay. And then this will be like, oh, but this is Takeshita's night. We're making Takeshita. Well, guess what? If you protected Ospreay, you didn't make Takeshita. Takeshita is made if he beats a guy that you think is unbeatable. That's how you make a guy. If you just get a belt, one of 20 belts that's on the show, because another person turned on their friend, which, considering what happens later in the show, why the hell would you do this now? You can't just have friends just so they can turn on you in wrestling. Somebody in wrestling has to be friends. Like, there's got to be friends in wrestling. You can't have people turn on each other all the damn time. It doesn't mean anything. Just like belts don't mean anything. Just like protecting a guy doesn't mean anything. Or making a guy doesn't mean anything. All right.
In their head, they hit everything, out of the park. They protected two guys and they made a guy. But like you just said, that's not how you do it. And that's the only sad part, dude. But he did, if you watch the match, you understand where I'm coming from, man. I just felt like it was his time. He was down for it. That's all I'm saying. He was
the whole reason we even have triple threat matches in professional wrestling is because somebody wanted to, like, not get beat.
Right. It's true.
Like, oh, I'll win the match, but I'm not going to beat that guy. Like, I'll just beat the other guy. Like, the whole thing is people's egos for a fake business and, like, people trying to get protected. Well, you don't know how to protect people, so why bother?
This is a la carte situation too. You know what I mean?
You're just trying to enjoy Takeshita's performance.
Right.
Because wrestling's not real; it's a performance. So I like the evil. Not you, but like I'm just saying how the fans act. They're like, well, wrestling's it's supposed to be fun and entertaining. So we're done believing in it. So now we just watch guys do athletic things and hurt each other on purpose. Great,
right? And it's sad because, like you said, it made the win mean absolutely nothing. And if I go into that, and that's the thing. She's right. She's not wrong at all. She's absolutely right.
If you want to make Takeshita, he beats Will Ospreay one-on-one clean. If you don't give a shit about Takeshita, do this. So there you go. And it seems like they haven't gave a shit about him since day one anyway. So here we are.
Nick Todoro actually comes up with a great point, saying terrible booking by TK in this match. A rushed Ospreay/Ricochet rematch with no build-up. Fletcher gets nothing from this either. At least if Ospreay wins, Fletcher can challenge him next. Right. I said backwards, dude.
Speaking of next, what's next?
Wow. Glad you asked, because next, I don't even know if I want to go there. But anyway, we see Renee Paquette is backstage with Jerry Lynn, who has a special message for Orange Cassidy. Lynn tells Cassidy that his entire career, he's never seen a guy like Orange, and he believes that if he really wanted to, and if he tried, he could be the man. Then we see Hook rolling up and tells Orange that Jerry's right, and Cassidy's left in thought. He said, "You are the man, Orange. You are," and then runs away. And we're just left with Orange just sitting there like, am I the man? Cool, whatever. Let's just flop it out and suck orange juice all the orange juice out of orange we can get. That's what it seemed like here. I just didn't like this segment, but whatever.
Is that where
Next
Britt
we
Baker's
see,
moving on to?
well, maybe. I mean, that's the talk, right? I mean. Well, next is Prince Nana is in the ring to sell his coffee, not his wrestler, but his coffee. Just quietly, he really did do that. He also has an update from Shane Swerve Strickland, who he introduces by saying, "Whose house?" Everybody's Swerve house. Swerve then comes to the ring saying Swerve admits it feels weird to be out here without the title around his waist, but he's happy to be home. He gives us a medical update and admits it's a little wonky and he's still got a little tingling in his back and sometimes his fingers. Like everything he said about Brian Danielson is coming back to him also. But that being said, he is medically cleared and he wanted to come out here and address his hometown people and tell them about the past and the present and, of course, the future. Then we hear MVP interrupting him by, clearing his throat, going, that seems to be his thing, saying the future is a wonderful segue, actually. He says that he has Shelton Benjamin with him. He wants to discuss Swerve's future with him and says Nana must have not given him his card because he hasn't answered any of his calls, emails, or DMs. So he assumes Strickland must be in deep contemplation about his future. He says they go away. They go way back, and he believed in Shane before he believed in himself. But Swerve's career has floundered since, and one of the things that MVP has shown is a talent for is helping champions climb that mountain once again. And he wants to talk some business here and now. Shane then gets with the greeting and says he gave him a lot of great advice back in 2017 and talks up their match in Defy as the people pop for whatever reason. And he says he learned a lot that night that he carries to this day. And he's seen MVP ascend great stars above superstardom, just like Shelton Benjamin. Sure. Swear.
Can we cliff notes this? I'm getting bored. What was the point?
Basically they were sucking each other's dick, but in the end, he wasn't going to turn on Nana because Nana is family and he doesn't turn on family, although he did also recognize that there was a few fuck ups because of Nana, right? But after all that, he also said, I wouldn't be champion without you also. So, all that basically, cut a long story short, he wasn't going to turn on Nana. And Sheldon, though, gets in his face, which was cool. And then, security come in, break him up. The typical pro wrestling bullshit. But I'm kind of looking forward.
Going to come into play later because security was very prompt. We don't want Shelton Benjamin and Swerve Strickland to tussle in this wrestling ring, right? So we got to get a flood of security guards in here.
I will say that Sheldon looked like a badass here, though, man. I like it. He didn't talk, didn't say shit. He was just like straight into Swerve's face. I kind of like that. I assume we're going to get that match on Dynamite. And if so, look, Sheldon should win, in my opinion, first off, because it would just make him look like a total badass, because he is. But I expect Lashley to make his debut after, Swerve beats Sheldon. And then, Swerve has to face the Almighty in Bobby Lashley. But I don't want Lashley to lose that match if that's how it's going to go down.
Man.
But we'll see. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I just feel like that's where we're going. So yeah, anything to say about this? It was a long segment, dude.
I only saw the very end part where Shelton started taking off his jacket. And he actually did say something on the mic, but I forget what it was now.
That's
what caused Swerve to like shove him or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh, okay,
Whoa.
now we're doing this," and then he starts taking off his jacket. I love Shelton Benjamin. I miss that guy.
He looked like he belonged though here, man. I regret that they actually sort of got rid of him. Oh, he said this is what he said, yeah. He said that he misread the situation. They weren't asking, they were telling him. Mm-hmm. And that's basically like forcing you. You're going to join us whether you like it or not. That's what he said. And that's what pissed off Swerve and the rest is history. Yeah, like Elizabeth said, it wasn't an invite. You're either with us or against us. And yeah, do you expect Lashley, before we move on, joining AEW this coming week? Or are they going to stretch this out a little more?
Yeah, I don't know. Could be this week. Might as well do it this week.
I agree. And like Liz says, they took too long. It was long, dude. It was a real long freaking
All right.
segment. But anyway,
kind of like this show. Let's
yeah, dude, it's fucking way too long. I hate having to go through this, but I don't want to cheat everybody either. So next we got the Beast Mortos versus Hologram. Get this, but 2 out of fucking 3 falls, bro. I want to fall off my
surely
chair.
Hologram won, right?
Of course he did.
Okay, all right.
Of course he did. I'm not even going to go through it, but basically it was 1-1 then Hologram gets the win. This match wasn't that good either. So whatever, Hologram wins and cool. Next, we got Brody King versus Darby Allin, in a grudge match, I guess. Yeah. Look, I want to breeze through this. I don't want to hold up. Look, it was a typical Darby. We've seen this before. We've seen these two go at it a million times. The only cool spot is when he kind of tossed Brody King from the top of the ropes onto the stairs, dude. Like he set up the stairs, 2 pairs of stairs on top of each other. So they were kind of high, but he landed right on the steps, then done the coffin drop from the ropes to the top rope onto the steps onto Brody King. And that was kind of a cool spot. But nevertheless, Darby wins by pinfall via the coffin drop. And in the end, they both shook hands. I guess that's not going to sit well with, what's it called? With the House of Black. It is AEW, right? That's what they're going to go through.
You think Julia's sitting at home with her shoulder in a sling, just mad that he shook hands? Like, how could you?
Yeah, Brody? I bet you they're going to go there, bro. They're going to go there. But whatever, man. W wins. Cool. They shake hands. Next, we got Private Party in Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn versus the Young Bucks, who are your AEW champions in Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. What do you want me to tell you, man? The Bucks,
the Private Party didn't win. That's what we're telling you. You could have made some guys.
Could have, but they didn't. And yes,
any post-match angle.
Bucks, well, Stokely Hathaway laughs to himself about Private Party's failure. That's your post-match shit. Oh, cool. Literally, I don't blame him. So yeah, they're still your tag champions. Next, though, is Jericho versus Briscoe for your Ring of Honor World Championship matchup. Mark Briscoe is your champion. This match was a real back and forth type of match, but thank God Mark Briscoe wins by pinfall with the Jay Driller retaining his Ring of Honor World Championship. Vet, you got anything to say about this match?
I did. I watched this match. I only have time to get 2 of my menu items in a lunch break, so I went with Jay White and Mark Briscoe. I think I made the right choice. Granted, he had to kind of, deal with Jericho during this match. Jim Ross was on the call for this match.
He was from here on all the way to the end now.
As much as I love, JR and I give him a pass for everything, I still feel like he's not doing the broadcast any favors, because he's talking about it casually like he's on a podcast, like he's talking about wrestling like it's a work, and he's not differentiating between like being able to get into it and actually call the action. He's commenting on it like wrestling's phony. So he'll even, I don't know. It's just kind of sad. It's sad, and it hurts the show, but the show doesn't need any help. It's already bad enough at times. So I just, whatever. And even, I'm even like, I'm giving him a pass that he was talking about, Mark and called him Jay or whatever. Like, stuff like that. I'm not even talking about just that. I'm just talking about it's getting sad. I'm getting sad. I don't want JR to miss any paydays, but I also don't want him calling matches if he's not going to be able to do it to the level he did it. So
yeah,
that's just how I feel about it. And the match was what it was. Like, Mark is amazing. I love him. I'll watch whatever he does, even if it's a Chris Jericho match. So I did.
It was a long match too, man. Like, it went longer than I expected, but that's all right, because we go to the longest match next. It is your main event. It is the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, your champion, who's your AEW World Champion, versus John the Rumper Stomper Moxley. Where do I start? This shit was long as.
Start with the
Dude,
end.
first of all, yeah, I will, but I just want to point out, I don't know what was going on, but the final countdown was playing a lot longer than usual, dude. The match had already started. I'm thinking, are they doing a new? Yeah, that's what, dude. I'm thinking, are they doing a New Jack fucking thing? Oh yeah. This lab rat, Ichi Nisan Da. How embarrassing was that, by the way, lab rat? That was embarrassing. That's what I was referring to earlier in the show.
So maybe if you get the rights to Final Countdown, like that's a flat rate, so you might as well just get as much as you can out of it, like kind of like a buffet. You pay the one price and then you eat as much food as you can. So like maybe it's like we paid Final Countdown, so
it was embarrassing, man. Like I'm thinking, when is this going to end? Like it's just keep going and going and going. Finally, it just stopped abruptly for whatever reason. But anyway, this was your typical, I want to kick you. If you kick me again, I'll kick you. Chop, slap, blah, blah, blah. I mean, honestly, it was that type of match. Although Marina Shafir did get involved a lot, and she was going for it on Danielson. She impressed me a little more than usual in this match because she wasn't actually totally useless, if you know what I mean. And it seemed like she was doing her job pretty well. But the match drained me. It sort of started losing me towards the end. And then we get to the fucking end. And we've got a new AEW World Champion thanks to shenanigans, including who Wheeler Yuta fucking fucked up. I see again. Do you see the trend here? Like you were saying before, we're gonna have another friend turning on a fucking friend. Well, here we are. Yuta's a badass now. Forget about him crying. He's all BCC, I guess, without Daniel Bryan. And what happens here? Is he gonna retire? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, I
doubt
over.
It though.
The career's over.
Well, he's full of shit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. His career's over till he comes back and gets revenge.
Right.
But this is so what I ended up seeing.
We got the bag spot again, by the way.
Right. What only thing I saw was, Yuta had already turned at this point. By the time I was watching this, they had Darby like duct taped to the corner by his hands.
Yeah. Like I missed this part. This is what I was trying to tell you.
So they had at some point, I guess Darby came in to try to make a save.
So that's why wouldn't he?
Yeah, but I missed that part. All I saw was when I fast forwarded to it, like his hands were like duct taped to the ropes. So like if he was like Raven getting ready to pull himself up, but now he's taped to the ropes. And they were, they gave Yuta the bag and he put the bag over Danielson's head. And then like nobody came out for a long time. The camera even panned to the entrance. Nobody was coming out. So like they made a point to show nobody's coming out. Then security started to come out. Now the security was way, way faster to break up Shelton and Swerve earlier. Like they were right on it. It took several minutes before security finally came out. So I guess they were probably keeping Shelton and Swerve separated backstage the whole time, and that's what delayed them, I'm sure. Then the wrestlers started coming out. Private Party came out. They got fought off. Jeff Jarrett came out. He got fought off. Everybody's trying to save Brian. And
he's NWO all over again?
A little bit. So like basically everybody's like, and again, JR is just saying stuff like, this is I don't even know what he said. It just didn't fit because he's like, this is phony, so I'm gonna act like it. And then what else? I'm trying to remember. They had so everybody keeps getting fought, and Yuta by the time they've like beaten up like several people trying to save Bryan Danielson, Yuta is like, well, he would be actually dead at this point, so I'm just going to take the bag off myself and let him out. And so Danielson's just there, and then they put the chair on him, the Pillmanized chair on the head, and then Claudio does a running, jumping stomp on the chair to like break his neck, and then everybody's out there, and they finally the whole locker room comes out, like every babyface comes out. Adam Cole runs out, everybody runs out. They all finally go, and then these like what 4 people finally leave, and obviously there's a million things wrong with this. Some of which we touched on, some we didn't. Like, I don't know. The fact that, Excalibur was crying, by the way.
What? No.
And,
really?
Yeah, you're right, Jimmy. I was just kidding you. I just made that up. Ha. No, he was fucking crying on the mic. So,
wow.
So how about this for a booking idea? If you want us to think this shit is serious, which it's impossible, but even if you like whatever, how about if this is to the point that Excalibur's gonna fucking cry, why doesn't he get up off his ass and get in the ring and try to fight those guys and get beat down by them too? Because if he used to be a wrestler, right? So he's still wearing his fucking mask. So get in the ring and like, I can't do this. And he runs in. I get even Nigel, who is just fighting. Tony and JR don't have to get up, but Nigel just fought Bryan Danielson last week or the week before, or whatever. You think and I know he would like this, but he's like, even if Nigel McGuinness said, this is too much, and got up, then is some real shit, right? Real shit. But you get what I'm saying? Like, better than just sitting there watching it being like, oh, this is despicable. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, so you care enough to cry, but not enough to fight these guys? What are they going to do? Hit you with a hammer? Put you in a plastic bag? Isn't that worth saving Danielson's life? What if he just died in front of you? Would you just sit there and call it? Like, and Bryan Danielson has died because I sat in my chair. Like, this whole shit is fucking...
Wow, so dumb. I missed those crucial parts.
Right.
Damn, you know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't see that now, because then I would have really been...
Right. Then it's like, I just go down the list for another half hour. What took all the other wrestlers so long? What took security so long? You fired CM Punk for grabbing Jack Perry. Do you think any of these guys are going to get fired? Do you think you would strip Jon Moxley of the title? Okay. Now, what about this? You fucked Swerve Strickland because you had him lose to Bryan Danielson. So I imagine, you must have had plans for him to hold on to this belt for a while. No.
I thought that.
So the first thing that my brain goes to, right, is the first thing that my brain goes to is like, well, you wanted to do this angle, but you would have been less comfortable if all this was happening to a black guy like Swerve. So you put Danielson in it because then it's okay. So you get the belt off of him so that you don't have to do it to him for Jon Moxley to win the title.
Right.
But now you fuck Swerve out of the title. So you've got nothing out of Swerve. You fucked him over. You fucked Danielson over because he won, and now it's just like a month later he's already had to retire. So also none of this is believable. Also, now you got Jon Moxley as the face of the company again. I mean, it's a litany of problems that this creates, and it's going to get you some attention, but for the most part, it's not going to be good.
He's bullshit, dude. Shut up. And it was deja vu too. There was a lot of the same shit from the previous pay-per-view. With the bag and all that. That's where I stopped, right there, where by accident D kind of fucked up my feed. But but anyway, I know, but it's the truth. Sorry, D. I don't think she can hear me. She's wearing a headset anyway, so that's cool. Right. Oh, she can hear me. I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
If she can hear both of us, it's not your fault, D. It's not your fault. Jimmy had all night to watch it.
That's true, but I like to be fresh. And so I missed those parts. But the fact that you told me that freaking Excalibur was crying, that's it, dude. That was it. I'm done after that. So where do they go from here now, Vet? I mean, it's attempted murder again. Not once, but twice. Twice. Attempted murder. I was even expecting Brie to fucking turn up at one point because of Marina Shafir Heck, the ref didn't even do their job properly. Like, where do you go from here, dude? How do you? So
I know where you go. A wrestling match. Because that's the only place you can ever go in wrestling, guys. That's what I've been trying to tell you. I've been trying to tell you for years. You can only have wrestling matches. You are a wrestling company. WWE is a wrestling company. When you start doing things outside of, you're reaching farther than your reach exceeds your grasp. You're trying to do all the cinematic bullshit, and then you just have a wrestling match. Like, that's it. That's all you got. A wrestling match. You're not going to, nobody's going to die unless they accidentally do. That'd be the only way it happens. But you're not going to like kill off a character. This ain't Lucha Underground,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So like Labrat said, I was crying of happiness when the show ended. That's pretty funny. Yeah. So that was your Wrestledream. It was more like a Wrestle Nightmare.
Antonio Inoki would be proud.
Oh, poor guy. I mean, Jesus. Cold Blooded says they can have an arm wrestling match. Yeah, maybe. That seems like a good idea. Why not?
Settles everything, man.
Settles everything. But now, what's happening? It feels like Karate Kid, the movie now. I'm not talking about Cobra Kai, but it feels like, so is Danielson going to bring anybody with him? I doubt it. Who's he going to bring? Like, you know what I mean? Who are his boys? Is Kane going to make an appearance in AEW? Can you imagine? They call him Pain instead of Kane. Or Kane with a C.
Maybe they could get Blue Kane.
Or have you seen Gay Kane? Tell me you've seen Gay Kane, bro.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Have you seen Gay Kane? I don't know what's up with these Brits, dude. The Brits are kind of out there, with the Blue Kane. Now we got Gay Kane, and he comes out with the rainbows, dude. Like he's Kane, but he's Gay Kane, and that's literally his name, Gay Kane. It's fucking stupid, bro. Whatever. Yeah. Who knows who he's gonna bring?
Well, maybe the Acclaimed will hate him too.
Maybe, or they can all go scissoring together. Who knows? But yeah. How about this? Like Gam Wolfer says, want to settle a lawsuit? You just wrestle. Want to solve traffic? You just wrestle. Want to go to a Dairy Queen? Heck, you just wrestle. Why not? I mean, shit. That's how you settle it. So I guess he's going to come back eventually saying, I'm going to kick your fucking head in. We're going to kick all their heads in. I don't know, dude. I don't know where we go from here.
I know I said I'd retire when I lost the belt, but I didn't mean like that. So I'm back.
Yeah, right. I'm back. Well, either way, it's going to look stupid, man. If he wins all by himself, it's going to look dumb. I just feel like they've booked themselves into a bad corner. But in saying that, man, we've given the peeps a long show. We've gone longer than usual because we did have to cover a pay-per-view. So, Vet, what do you think? Should we take this shit home?
Yeah, in some ways, I feel like I never left home. But yeah, we're done. I wish I could cut more of a promo, but I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We've given you 2 hours and 20 minutes of exhilarating AEW action. I mean, exhilarating AEW action.
That's minus one Collision.
Yeah, imagine we had Collision. God damn, we'll be here for 4 hours at least.
Well, let's end on a positive. Jay White came back and had a match, and it was perfect.
Absolutely loved it. Actually, that was the match of the night for me.
Yeah, match of the week.
For real. Hey, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's one positive thing. Now it's going to be like watching Jay White dodge all the bad booking is going to be like in The Matrix when you see Neo like dodging the bullets, or like the agents, when they dodge, like that's what Jay White's going to be like mentally, with all these ideas that get thrown at him that he's going to have to like sort of dance and politic his way around so that he doesn't end up looking as stupid as everybody else on the show does.
Shit. I just hope he gets around it, bro. That's all I'm saying.
If he can't, nobody can. So if he can, it's a beacon of hope for everyone else. He'll give him a blueprint to follow. And I'm not talking about Mercedes again. And I'm not talking about Matt Morgan.
Matt Morgan. Hey, but speaking of Mercedes, she doesn't even have a match on pay-per-view. What's happening there?
Yeah, she's too over. She's like, I don't want to. She heard what the finish of the show was going to be, and she's like, I don't want to be anywhere near that.
She's not Aunt Tony. I ain't doing that shit.
I told you guys she's a good worker. I told you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, in saying that, I agree with you with everything that you just said. Jay White is what really made the show for me. That match was great. I'll give kudos to also Hangman. It takes two to tango, and he made Jay look fucking pretty good. So, I mean, Jay made himself look good, but I'm just saying, at least he put him over. I don't know if this continues. It might not.
It wasn't up to him. I'm not giving Hangman jack shit for credit. Fuck him.
I know. I can't stand him either, but, I got to give something. But let's fucking see what happens. So, in saying that, Vet, tell them what you're doing and where they can find you, man.
At Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms and on all your favorite HMG shows, such as Next Level with Ray Hernandez or, Impact Attack with Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. LG Brandon Woo, whatever.
Let's go, Brandon. Woo woo.
Yeah, you guys know the times, and if you don't, that's why you got to click that subscribe and the notification bell, so that way when we go live, you could just run to your PC, your phone, your TV with Chromecast or whatever the hell setup that you have, that you just relax with a big bowl of popcorn and watch Hami Media Group programming. And you can find me at those places. You could check out Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday at their concrete time, except for this Friday, which they already said they're not doing a show, so not this Friday, but other Fridays. And go back in the archives. Go check out their interviews that they've had with so many great people, like Mark Henry or that other guy, the guy that always wore the wrestling boots. Yeah, him too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go check out all their great interviews. And what else? Stevie Richards show. Stevie's breaking down. What did he break down this week? He broke down some. He compared the Hell in a Cell match from Bad Blood to the cage match with Swerve and Hangman from All Out. So if you want to see the comparison between how to do a cage match and how not to do a cage match, check out the Stevie Richards show.
And just close, speaking of Stevie, even though I already did this, I spoke to him a few days ago, but happy birthday once again to you, Stevie, which was just a few days ago. A couple of days, me and him share almost the same birthday. So, happy birthday to Stevie once again for the week. And, but if you want to follow me, you can on the X at DJ Mass Effects and also at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com, where for $5 only do you get the best but the realest talk in all of pro wrestling. And also HaminMediaGroup.popping.com for all our affiliate shows. And tune in every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for the Like It Raw podcast with me and Big Ray Hernandez, where we talk all things Raw, and also the Smack Attack with myself and John Enright. I wasn't on the Smack Attack this past week because of the times. You want to go earlier, and I couldn't do it earlier. So, yeah, that was that. But also, right here, the Wreckage every week on Hamin Media Group YouTube channel and on channelattitude.com after the fact, 11 a.m. Eastern, every Sunday morning, where we talk all things AEW. And that's about it. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the vet, Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching The Wreckage right here on Hamin Media Group YouTube channel and on the Twitch and also at channelattitude.com. And we're out. Thank you to everyone once again that wished me a happy birthday this past week. And thank you to everybody that's joined us. We love you. Until next time, peace.